and welcome back, this time for day 2 of the SWC 2023 America's Cup Prelims. My name is Evan, and with me at the table, it's Seppi and Stoic. What's going on, Stoic? How are you today?
What's going on, guys? We are doing great. It's day 2, SWC America's Cup. I am excited to get back on it and see what we have in store today.
Nice, me too. And Seppi, how about you?
Extremely happy and just satisfied to see a lot of new faces coming into the game today. Only one returning champ, so a little bit different from yesterday. So maybe we'll see a lot of different strategies and unique monsters, and who knows, another Okeanos.
Oh yeah, absolutely. We're going to have a diverse array of player experience today. We're in the final stretch of the winner's bracket for the prelims. We started with 16 players, and our ultimate goal is to narrow that number down to 8. Who will then qualify for the America's Cup in September. We're basing all the selection criteria for these preliminaries on World Arena Seasons 24 and 25. The top ranking players have been taken for that. Now, SWC mode is in effect. Like we said yesterday, that means that pre-bans are active. But you can't consistently pre-ban the same unit in between rounds, so you're gonna have to fight the monsters that you didn't want to fight eventually. It's gonna be best of 3 today, with best of 5 in the semifinals, but of course, the regionals are all best of 5, so you'll have that to look forward to today. And also later in September, once we get to the America's Cup proper, players will have more opportunities to get to know their opponent, kind of feel them out a little bit. Whereas today, with the best of 3s, there's still a chance that things could go astray and they might lose for some other reason. Perhaps they didn't land a defense break, and they'll get a better chance at that in the best of 5. Here's that America's Cup that I was talking about earlier. September 16th is the date to watch out for. It's going to be best of 5 all the way through, and of course, these players are not just fighting for a slot at the World Finals, they're also playing for a slice of a $20,000 prize pool. $10,000, the lion's share, going to first place, second taking home $5,000, and of course the tied third getting the remaining $2,500 each. There's a lot on the line for that, but it doesn't even compare to what they stand to win at Worlds, which is a $140,000 prize pool. And that is happening on November 4th, all the way over in Bangkok, Thailand. And of course, just like the regionals, it's best of 5 all the way through. I really prefer those best of 5 matches, Stoic, because I like getting to see the players feel each other out and understand what their opponent's trying to draft.
I 100% agree with you. The best of 5, I think, is actually the best method that we have for these players to, like exactly what you said there, feel it out and play it out and see where things go. Because we all know in the game of Summoner's War, things can definitely weigh and feel one-sided depending on RNG, of course. I mean, accuracy res, we're all very aware of it. So in a best of 5, at least we can find out, you know, where maybe it isn't just reliant on that poor RNG or great RNG in some cases, where that best of 5, you know, we can get the best results possible.
Totally, and that's why I can't wait to see that. But we're still got a great day of prelims ahead of us before we get to that. We had day 1 yesterday. We're sitting at day 2 now, and just like Saturday, we've got 6 matches ahead of us. We're going to be rounding out the winner's bracket, and of course, this is all leading up to day number 3, where we take down the loser's bracket, otherwise known as the Redemption Arc bracket. Everybody who loses their match today and yesterday is going to get placed in these matches. So if there's somebody that you love watching who maybe didn't get the chance to shine in one of these 2 days, you'll get to look forward to seeing them play another chance. And they may have the opportunity to work their way back up into a slot and qualify for America's Cup proper. And for the first time ever, too, we also have an exclusive currency that is tied to SWC 2023. Just by watching and cashing in on the coupon codes that will eventually show up throughout the day, you're going to be earning SWC 2023 emblems, which can be exchanged in the aptly named shop event that is live in-game right now. And within that shop event, there's Devilmon, there's a grip of mystical scrolls, there's legendary scrolls, crystals, and more. So go ahead and check that out over the course of the tournament today and over the course of the next few tournament days, just because you may have already saved up enough to get some prizes. I know that I'm going to be going in for that Devilmon there, Seppi. I mean, I've got a couple. Chungus, I think, actually needs 1 more skill up.
Nice, Evan. You know what is also in that? Probably the Shizuka that our beautiful friend Stoic has been looking for. Go into that store, redeem the emblems, and maybe that Shizuka will appear, right, Stoic? How much do you want her? The most picked unit in the current season that we haven't seen here yet. So, are we gonna see her?
You make a great point there. I always talk and hop on this Shizuka pick being as credible as it is. Like, where has it been all tournament? But yeah, I desperately do want one of these units.
We'll see if any of these players may pick her in today's tournament bracket. Here's a look at everything that we're going to see today. The opening 4 matches in the quarterfinals and then 2 in the semis. Now, guys, so we'll start with Stoic here. What matches are you most looking forward to seeing?
The match I'm most looking forward to see here is Vic and Spires. And now there is one reason why I'm really looking forward to this match is because last year I had great hopes for Spires. I even said Spires was going to be last year's America's Cup champion. Spires was not. Spires let me down, met him in person, and I let him know how much he disappointed me. So I'm putting the weight of the world on his shoulders and telling him, don't disappoint me this year.
You let him know? I love Spires. I'm excited for that match too. Seppi, same question to you, man. What match are you looking forward to?
So 2 things. One, what Stoic is saying is basically that if Aspires wins this year, it's not because of him, but because of the pressure that Stoic as a friend put on him. So a lot to look forward to. And just like yesterday, our beautiful friend Stoic said, I am looking forward the most to this first match because I believe it will be a pace setter. And today, I will go with the same answer. I'm looking for that RHYS versus DRMZJOSEPH matchup. We have a newcomer versus a former champion. Many years have passed since Joseph took that title, back in San Pedro by the waterfront. And let's see if he can bring some units that are from the past and something that is really strong in the current meta to push himself towards America's Cup in one of those 2 first spots.
Man, you're so right. Joseph is one of those players who really pushes his box far. He gets a lot of mileage out of, I would say, probably one of the more limited monster pools of the bunch today. Here's a look at RHYS, who's on the other side of this match. Stoic, could you tell us a little bit about RHYS?
Well, I can tell you a lot about RHYS. RHYS has the RHYS, but he doesn't have a lot of these big LD units that a lot of people would like to see. Now, he does run something that a lot of people are familiar with. We see a lot of Chung Peng more, Oliver, of course, so a lot of turn 1 play coming out of RHYS here. And now I do love that we are going to see potentially a Shizuka in his most picked right here, but will we see that Shizuka later on? Because we haven't seen this Shizuka all turny, it feels like. But I am expecting RHYS to sit here, take his turn 1, and really gauge where things go after that. But we've been surprised throughout the tournament now where people known to be taking turn 1 not actually going for turn 1, some people going for a safer play here, that I do think RHYS is probably going to go down the same route looking at that turn 1 play style.
Absolutely, but RHYS has definitely been given a difficult obstacle to overcome in this first match here. Now, like Seppi said earlier, DRMZJOSEPH took home the America's Cup champion title in 2018, but has managed to reappear in pretty much every America's Cup afterwards. Now, Seppi, please walk me through a little bit more about DRMZJOSEPH.
Yeah, talking about what you said, very creative player with the box that he has. As you'll see, everyone else will have probably an Oliver, more up there in the number 1 slot, a Shizuka, but you'll see the Masha for him. That's kind of the difference maker. He likes to play into those heavy wind teams, and that's why that's his most picked unit. He also uses the Vanessa and the Sekhmet a lot, 2 other very strong fire units, and he does still love to use the Oliver, the Moore, and his very, very interesting LD unit, Cadiz. So we'll see if we're going to see that. He has a lot of fast swift units on the Etna, on the Sekhmet, and also maybe we'll see a Juno, Wusa, Chiwu that are not even shown in here. I think that the Dominic, he used it more in the season 24, but not in the 25 and 26. That's why it's showing in there. So I don't know if we're going to see that unit together with the Mali today.
Right, you were talking about how he's even been first picking the Masha, which is a testament to how much he wants to play into those heavy wind teams because he knows that he's comfortable countering them. And of course, Seppi, the Vanessa is also a huge add for his team too.
Yeah, very strong 33% speed lead, good into the Oliver. So we're going to see if he's going to go for that strategy or if he's going to steal the Oliver away and then pre-ban it. Since my friend Stoic said yesterday, a lot of people were kind of not giving Oliver the respect it needed, and it made a big splash in the last matches. It carried a lot of people to the wins.
Oh yeah, Oliver dictates the match, whether or not he's in or banned out of it, right, Stoic?
Yep, that's right. I mean, clearly, if you don't respect that unit, it will do horrible things. We've seen that happen in the China Cup qualifier as well, where we watched a Oliver pop-off, and we watched an Oliver pop-off inside the America's Cup as well. So if you do not respect this unit, you know, bring the necessary things you need to keep it back, or potentially just ban it out, not have to deal with it in the first plan. Pre-ban's always an option, but it is something that has to be respected.
Totally. Whether you deal with it right away in the game with a Masha, like DRMZJOSEPH is probably planning on doing, or if you pre-ban it or ban it beforehand, you got to do something about it because you can't just let it sit there. That's basically what we want you to learn about this. Well, everybody, we're about to watch some sparks fly. RHYS versus DRMZJOSEPH. The first match of the second day of the SWC 2023 America's Cup prelim starts right now. Guys, take it away.
And here we go. RHYS, DRMZJOSEPH. This is game number 1 of day 2 America's Cup. Pre-bans coming out right here.
Let's go, Stoic. We see already the respect given for the miles. What does that tell you? That tells you that Joseph's going to bring the heavy hitter fire units. He doesn't want to go against that strong water unit on the other side, Sagar, that has been super strong for everyone. Let's see if the Masha comes out like we predicted. And yes, she is over here. Now that Miles is off the table, what would you like to see RHYS bring up to the match?
I mean, there could be a lot of things. I think we could still see, I was going to say more and a Chumpong as well. The combination, very prevalent when it comes to RHYS's draft here. And I do like the Ethna. If he locks it in, and he does lock that in, he definitely wants that turn 1 playstyle. And we'll see if DRMZJOSEPH's going to opt towards maybe just backing it up and going with a turn 2 playstyle here, or try to contest as well.
Yeah, very good point, my friend. And I love the shift kind of, Chumpong's still strong, but I like the shift to an Etna because the Etna gives him more killing potential, you know, and kind of trying to drop the Masha very quickly because of the damage, etc. But DRMZJOSEPH already with a double Valkyrie. Look at that surprise. We talked about Camilla yesterday, and she appears today. Can you tell everyone why Camilla is so interesting right now compared to the past?
Oh, it's just a bruiser that just won't be removed from the field right now. But it's got an incredible second skill, being able to freeze, and it's got the slow on it as well. It's very, very powerful. Now, these bruisers are going to be ruined up pretty well, so we're going to see some big numbers usually come from this Camilla, and we're going to see a little bit of sustain coming from RHYS here, dropping in the Praha. We've got the Rakuni coming in here. DRMZJOSEPH showing even more bruisers. I thought the Vanessa was going to be a little bit of a speed contest here, where he's throwing down the 33 speed lead, but that is not the route that DRMZJOSEPH's trying to scare him into, that he has that leader skill in there. But it looks like we're going towards a Wind Monkey King and a Diana potentially locked in for DRMZJOSEPH.
Oh, I really like the pick of the Diana over here, to be completely honest. Let's see if RHYS brings something that threatens those two very tanky and strong wind units. The Monkey also counters more very well and also makes the Etna think twice when using that AoE second skill to not be revenged. So it's going to be interesting to see what his last pick is. And like you said, I love bringing the double sustain. Maybe that last pick threatens too much damage and DRMZJOSEPH will get rid of it, or he's more afraid of the Etna with the Death Break. What would you like to see? Oh, it is quick, too quick for us too. So it was banned. And the Diana also off the table, Stoic. Let's see who takes turn 1.
Yeah, definitely gone there. 33 speed lead coming out for DRMZJOSEPH. How fast is this Masha? I'm actually expecting this Masha to be pretty tanky. We'll see how it works out for him, but the Etna clearly taking turn 1 for RHYS.
Yeah, very, very fast Etna. Goes for the single target, doesn't want to risk the IOE. I love that. Very, methodical, diligent to get that move. The Rakuni doesn't even need to boost anyone to keep his team protected. And now gets one stun with a more. Very, very key, especially on the Wind unit that could have countered him. And now with a sleep, makes sure that he controls the match a little bit. What would be the first unit that you'd be targeting on DRMZJOSEPH's side?
On DRMZJOSEPH's team, I think he really wants to aim for a dismount on top of that Masha, and then not necessarily take out the Vanessa just yet, but I think that dismount's way too important. But you're going to see a little bit of playing around here. I think he's keep some units back. He's clearly trying to keep that Wind Monkey King nice and low. Holy damage coming out of that Masha. Just did away with that Ethna so quickly.
You talked about the Masha being a key unit. The Edna received what we like to call the post ban, and the Camilla will start doing work, trying to get a freeze in here. The Rakuni gets the cleanse, but only 2 debuffs. So he has to use the skill to clean up that very dangerous death break. I love the gameplay, but so far it's looking like you'll need a lot more damage to take this team of DRMZJOSEPH down. What would you try to remove from the field now that the Etna's off with the 2 monsters, 2 very dangerous water units on RHYS side?
Well, so for RHYS right now, he's trying to keep that Rakuni healthy, and as you can tell, DRMZJOSEPH's trying to get that Rakuni low enough right now so everybody else stays stunned. So RHYS really needs to focus on probably pumping up that Rakuni as much as possible and making sure his team stays up as high as possible. I think what RHYS is going to be trying to do is lower all the HP bars across all of DRMZJOSEPH's units, minus the Camilla. That's going to be the tough one here. And he's going to be really heavily reliant on Water Ryu more second skill to try to just do a big cleave moment for him.
Very good point. I love that strategy of trying to keep them all low. Joseph doesn't have as much healing as RHYS has, but the bigger problem right here is, like you said, how does he get rid of this Camilla? Camilla's so strong in this matchup because now that the wind unit is removed, his only option is kind of, getting that additional damage with both the Praha and Dimor. The question right now, can this Masha crit in any of these units? We know high resist on the Rakuni and then 2 water units.
Yeah, definitely. I feel like he should actually go for a skill 2 here, just to get a little bit more AoE damage, unless he wants to keep pumping in that first skill. But I think the idea of keeping these units low as possible is probably what needs to happen right now. Clearly, he's trying to work down that Wind Monkey King. You don't want to obviously get the Vanessa passive, and then it's going to come back attack buff, where he might be in a lot of trouble. But you can definitely tell RHYS is trying to keep all of these units as low as possible to hit him with a big second skill with that more.
Yeah, I agree, Stoic, and I love the strategy on both sides. RHYS is playing it very well, even though he already lost a unit, gets rid of the Vanessa, so no revive for DRMZJOSEPH, and keeping the 2 damage dealers, the main ones, low. Now, big chance, but doesn't get the death break. Procs, and Rakuni stays alive with a sliver of HP.
That was very, very unfortunate for DRMZJOSEPH. If he had landed that defense break, I think the Rakuni would have been gone long ago, knocked into next week completely. But RHYS is definitely staying alive right now. He needs this Rakuni to just hold up as much as possible. That is going to be the key to RHYS's draft, is this Rakuni staying alive.
Rakuni has been the MVP, keeping itself alive, cleansing the prow whenever she was in danger, and now the monkey wish he was a fire monkey to get that heal off of the second skill because 2 water units just killed him. There's an opening! And Camilla takes down the prize, a 2v2 Stoic.
Yep, here we go. He needs to land that defense break. Nails it! Oh my god! The damage is so crazy coming out of that Masha there. But we do have the dismount, so things are still not over because we have that passive with RHYS's more here, and more really needs to get stay on top of the despair stuns, and we need it's not going to be too much you can do about that right there. DRMZJOSEPH taking round 1 from RHYS.
Beautiful match on both sides. Great pick and ban. The post ban of the Etna, but I think that the MVP right here, we got to call it, is this Masha removing 2 units, even a Rakuni, without any death break coming in.
Yep, I think Masha's probably going to be on that pre-ban list right here. There's almost no way they let that unit through because that was just way too good for DRMZJOSEPH. I'd even opt to just seeing a whole nother draft coming out of DRMZJOSEPH, making sure that Masha's not going to be a part of it there. We'll see what happens because there might be a plan that RHYS already has set in store for DRMZJOSEPH here.
Very good point, Stoic. What I love about DRMZJOSEPH is that he's the kind of player that is very adaptable, kind of similar to RHYS. So we saw a couple units that are not very used, in RTA right now, like the Wind Monkey and the Camilla, but both of them fit the bill. They made sense in this match, so I would love to see for RHYS to be prepared, pre-ban the Masha, and kind of change it up a little bit. Yeah, that's what we see. Love it. And the Kinky goes away. Interesting. I did not know he had that unit and could have played a little bit more bruisery. What do you think about Kinky right now in this meta?
So, I love Kinky right now. It's something that I'm heavily playing myself, but I think the Kinky ban in this case is DRMZJOSEPH's could probably opt to do something more in the AoE style. Like, I feel like that's the only reason why he would probably get rid of a unit like this, so that it's not going to revenge based off of something he's trying to do to all of RHYS's units. So that might be why he's pre-banning it right now, but the Vanessa and Ethna don't necessarily say that. minus Ethna's second skill with Shatta. But RHYS opting for turn 1, double speed leads. We're seeing the Oliver, we're seeing the Moore at the table. I'm expecting to see a Changpeng as well.
Oh, I love your comment. The Etna right here is a very interesting unit to bring. And the question is, will he also bring Cigar? We know that was pre-banned on the first match. And kind of thinking about those powerful win units, RHYS already drafts the Mei Ho Wang. Interestingly enough, I feel like that's a little bit early, but is a solid choice into the draft. What we've seen now, DRMZJOSEPH responds right away with 2 units that don't care about that monkey that much. Oh, brings the Rakuni. Oh, kind of indecisive. Is he thinking to lock it down? Okay, sweet. It is locked down.
Yeah, I'm kind of surprised that he decided to lock in. I actually really liked the Rakuni draft before because I feel like RHYS's draft didn't have like big threat. The big threat obviously being like a Fire Monkey King if Rakuni was going to be on the other side of the field. But he ended up opting to go with Jackson at home. This is an okay unit. I'm not a big fan. I feel like it needs to do a little bit more, but obviously stopping the attack bar pushback that RHYS is clearly bringing to the table here with 3 units that he has. Rakuni, Miles, great combinations. I like RHYS's drafts. His draft that a lot of people see here. DRMZJOSEPH. That is a very obvious Leo pick there to just drop in.
Yeah, and a very obvious Leo ban as well. So great bans on both sides. I don't know. I feel that the Miles ban would have been fine as well because now contesting for that turn 1 will be very difficult. Let's see who takes this, and it is the Miles. Miles has a chance to try to stun, but doesn't get the stun on the Etna. Now, the way back, the Etna tries to stun and gets the stun, but the Rakuni cleanses this Oliver.
Yeah, very, very nice Rakuni right behind there. Primed and ready to get it back up. Rakuni's always pumping more of attack bar right into those Miles, and Miles is going to be looking to probably deal even more damage to this Ethna. I think Ethna is going to be the prime focus that RHYS is going to try and get rid of here, but we'll see what happens.
Yeah, that's a lot of damage on the Etna. The Etna is almost dead, but right now, the Lucia, if I'm not mistaken, comes up, puts up some shields, protection, and the opening for Vanessa to try to put a death break, misses it. Has to go for that Miles that has been a big problem, and now Oliver can steal the attack bar away, increase cool time on the Etna, and the question right now is, how do you get out of this control and damage from both surfers?
I mean, that's exactly what it is. We talked about this earlier before even any of the matches begun. It's like, how do you stop the Oliver when you don't have any immunity on your side of the field? Oliver's able to do a lot of things here when Oliver's not even the main focus right now for DRMZJOSEPH. So DRMZJOSEPH already, in my opinion, is kind of at a disadvantage because he has to deal with the Rakuni, a Miles Oliver style draft.
I agree with you. It's a lot of damage coming from the double surfers, and you brought it up. Maybe that Rakuni pick would have been better than the Lucia on DRMZJOSEPH's side because you not only have more sustain, but you also take that unit away that has a great combo with the Miles.
I think it's definitely a great little showcase here when we have the Fire Jackson at home, that unit. It's like, I think it does hold a little bit of value to it, but it's, in my opinion, it's just not enough. I know it's supposed to halt that attack bar pushback just a little bit, but it's not really showing too much. It's like Oliver, Miles, they're still having their way with their opponents here, and it's just not offering enough defensive or support for DRMZJOSEPH's team.
Yeah, DRMZJOSEPH team also lacking a little bit of damage. The Camilla gets stronger and stronger right here, but against monsters like the Oliver that can control the attack bar and Miles that doesn't care about your HP. It's just a monster that hits super hard, and the later the games get, the more dangerous it is.
Yeah, Miles does not care about your HP, does not care about your feelings either. That is a very cruel unit with how tanky it is and how much damage it produces on this field. So it's going to be super, super dangerous here for DRMZJOSEPH. I think the only opportunities that we're seeing right now is a potential, like, defense break with Camilla able to produce a lot of damage at the time, but once again you're in this limbo, and this limbo is really, really tough to deal with Rakuni, because as soon as you get something low, Rakuni's healing it up, and then you're working on something else, and you're trying to keep 2 things low. But the issue that we're having right now with DRMZJOSEPH is he has 2 single target damage dealers, well, units that are bruisers that are meant to try and deal a little bit of damage for him.
Yeah, that's a really good point, Stoic. The Rakuni is so strong into this comp because he keeps everyone healed, keeps everyone alive. Maybe if the Rakuni wasn't there, the Camilla and the Vanessa could be doing some, big damage by now, and then you get everyone a little bit lower. But this is a big resist on the Camilla. Might be a solid opening. If he crits, gets the crit, and right now we'll put some protection up. No, doesn't go for the shield.
Yeah, he's going for that first skill. That first skill does heal the lowest HP target here. It's still handy because it kind of like that first skill feels like just like a little bit like a Raccoon. Well, not like a Raccoon. Raccoon has the passive that heals in return. But nice little Despair Stuns popping out here. I just don't see what DRMZJOSEPH can do, except we watch the HP go down and the attack power go up, where we might see Camilla really start to hammer away. But at the same time, we're really going to start seeing, you know, units on Rhys's side start hammering away at DRMZJOSEPH. So it's going to be, once again, this like really weird limbo with Raccoon keeping everybody so healthy, and this match is probably still going to progress like on and on. But DRMZJOSEPH definitely trying to find an opportunity to land a defense break and capitalize on it.
Yeah, this Camilla has not been able to hit anything on the Miles. I don't know if the Miles 100% res or the Camilla has low accuracy, because if they manage to remove this Vanessa from the field, the match might be over. He needs the Vanessa to survive a little bit longer so she can bring the unit back. But then again, there's Oliver constantly resetting cooldowns, taking attack bars away, even with the Princess of Lucia, and the Vanessa goes down. It's gonna be Camilla against the world.
I love a Camilla against the world. I think this is one of those units that can do it. I just don't think we have the correct situation for Camilla. You could just see how much time is passing. Like, Camilla's starting to get really, really slammed here. I love it. I really do. I love a Camilla, but I just don't think this is the place for her.
Yeah, the Miles and Raccoon, two punishing, the Oliver taking attack bars away, and with that, RHYS taking Game 2. This is the last couple of hits. Let's see. One more. Can the Raccoon finish the job? Gives it to Miles. Whoa.
Yeah.
1-1. Everything's equal, Stoic.
Yeah, definitely. I think RHYS has done his homework here on DRMZJOSEPH. Like I said, I originally really liked the draft coming out of RHYS here, and it's just that Oliver, Miles, Raccoon, that combination of those three units are so good. There's just so much you have to worry about. So if you bring high aggression, like if we had maybe that Masha on the field, we could be singing a different song right now. But DRMZJOSEPH didn't have that Masha. I think Masha's definitely coming back into the next draft here, and I think RHYS has to worry about it. Either does he plan on already banning out Masha, or does he potentially even just take the Masha away if he can?
Very good point. They go back to the first free bans. I really like them. Very solid. Even though DRMZJOSEPH didn't bring up the Sagar on that match, it's still a super strong unit, and the Miles not going to be seen. I love that. I would like to see as well, if Joseph has the opportunity to take the Raccoon away right now, he should. Even though we've only seen one win, unit is a really strong unit in this matchup. It brings, you know, the cleanse, the sustain, steals the Oliver away. Also really like that, and opts for the Juno instead of the Raccoon. What do you think about that?
I think the Juno is definitely fine. I think RHYS is going down a AoE route here, so I think Juno definitely works just a little bit better. But if DRMZJOSEPH had locked in a Raccoon instead of a Juno, I think RHYS just continues down an AoE route, and he doesn't really have to worry about the Raccoon anymore, because when you're in that limbo with Raccoon, you're not too worried about it, because you're bringing lots of AoE to help you know, do that job for you. So it would kind of set up RHYS for, you know, a little bit more succession here.
Very good point. I really like the Chiwu into the Masha. Has that glancing turn 1. We saw that the Masha doesn't have any protection, and also it's a secondary speed lead that can put the beneficial block on her, so she doesn't get the passive benefit of getting immunity constantly. Now, immediate response with a Leo. We know he doesn't want to let that get through, and the Mei Ho Wang as the last pick can't be stunned. Mei Ho Wang and Juno, great partners in crime that were going against each other. Oh, swaps to a turn 1 when Robo. Interesting. It says if you ban my Leo, I get 33% plus the Robo. So you got to choose. What would you like to ban in here on his side?
I mean, Leo's definitely going to get banned out here. It's interesting that RHYS is going to be relying on a Douglas. I mean, I think the Douglas is a great unit, but the writing's on the wall. Masha's definitely not going through in this match right here. I do think if, like, depending on that draft, I really, really like the Chiwu. I think Chiwu is a great response to the Masha, able to apply the glancing, use that second skill to stop Masha from getting immunity back up. So I think Chiwu was absolute genius looking here. Douglas, I think, is quite interesting. I don't know if that would be it, but that definitely says that Win Robo is going through.
Yeah, I think that the Douglas will get banned, to be honest. I think it's a double back on the Leo. Is like trying to trick Joseph into it. Let's see if it's really a serious pick or kind of forcing the ban like we saw yesterday a couple of times. I would not let it through, because if the Masha gets banned, yeah, that's it. That's what you do. It's a double, it's a trick. You still want to ban the Leo, but you put the Douglas so you get your full team. The question right now is the Win Robo faster than everyone else with the 33% speed lead, and can he reduce enough without the cut in? Yes, my friend, it is, but misses.
Ooh. Yeah, he misses it. I think he really needed to see that right there, but we're going to see a third skill go back on either this Chiwu or the Shan, and that's not... I mean, it goes on to the Shan and nails it, but the third skill comes out. Despair. Chung Peng, might I add as well. Glancing needs to land on top of this Masha to keep it back, because if that Glancing does land, that 2 turn is going to sit there for quite a while.
Can you believe that this Chung got full reduction on the Masha too? So far, very, very important monster. Can he try to remove a unit right now, even with the Glancing and the attack break? Lands the death break, but doesn't get as much damage as he hoped. We know that this Shan will get his second skill back next turn, so he needs to kill him as quickly as possible.
Yeah, I really want to see that skill too go out towards that Masha. I think Masha needs to be a little bit of focus here. And interesting for him not to bother doing that here. I guess he has that second skill primed and ready, but a little bit of sustain is going to come out from that Juno, of course. I think DRMZJOSEPH was in a position to you have to use that second skill to cross his fingers for some despair stuns, and that's not what happened there. But it looks like he's really trying to get rid of Shan. I think this is a fair decision to remove this unit from the field here. Let's see what happens. I do think Masha needs a little bit of attention here. This unit is built on violent.
I agree with you. I think that the Masha not getting dropped, not using that skill 2 might cost him very, very much in this match, because this done with Juno basically guarantees that Shan is dead. And from this point on, you have 2 fire units that can control this match. The Masha and the Juno are really strong into this. He has the choice of trying to sleep, but doesn't get the sleep on the Oliver. It's kind of like the clock is ticking for RHYS, because right now he can kill the Shan, then keep putting damage on the Chung Peng. Yup, so he's gonna get 2 units down very quickly.
Yep, well, he needs to get a dismount onto this Masha as soon as possible, because I do think RHYS is going to be missing another unit once this Masha gets second skill off. Chung Peng's not long for life here.
Yeah, I think Chung Peng is long gone. There's also a unit that can counter the Douglas, and the Chiwu doesn't do a lot here late. I love this draft from Joseph. Even though the Robo didn't work as well, he still had enough sustain and 2 very strong fire units to deal with RHYS, taking the second match for himself.
There we go. DRMZJOSEPH moving forward with the power of the drums of liberation. Big fan of your profile picture there, Joseph. What a great game. Guys, it felt like maybe the Masha needed some more attention there, Stark.
I think so, but I'm not going to tell RHYS like he made some of the wrong decisions, because obviously, you know, he's here and I'm not. I do feel like Masha was definitely the key unit to have to get rid of, and I do think what should have happened is... well, he had no opportunity. DRMZJOSEPH had first picked the Masha for all of his matches that he did win there. So I think that was the key. But how do you avoid a Leo getting drafted and that being your must ban at a point where, you know, you're forced to see that Masha through?
You can't. Sometimes you just have to. Seppi, you called that Masha way ahead of time. Why don't you tell us a little bit more about the matches as we watch the highlights here?
Yeah, it's the signature monster for him, and the thing that I love about DRMZJOSEPH is that he makes sure that his draft is not only letting this Masha stay and doesn't get banned, so putting another unit like a Leo that is a forced ban, but he also picks her into comps in which she's very powerful. We haven't seen a Wusa in here, you know, that brings a lot of immunity. If by any chance we saw more defensive comps to Shizuka, something like that, the Masha wouldn't be as powerful, but he knew that she could shine against these comps, and she won basically the 2 matches for him. I also love the choice of Juno in this match instead of the Rakuni. We're talking about, should he pick the Juno, the Rakuni? The thing with Juno is that Juno brings that extra damage, and that damage was the one that managed to help get rid of the Shan before the Shan could do anything. The Shan got reset and killed, so, you know, hat off to the Juno as well.
Absolutely, yeah. It felt like Joseph was really comfortable in the 2 games that he won. You know, that second game, it was a really good response from RHYS, and it felt like maybe Joseph kind of stepped out of his usual play style to try to counter it as best possible. But like in the end, what Joseph ended up winning with was his favorite type of team to play with. You know, he had some cooldown time increasing effects. He had his Masha. He had everything he needed, and I loved the showcase of the double Valkyrie too. I thought that was an awesome set of games there, Stoic. Do you agree?
Yeah, I definitely agree. I think RHYS played his matches, and I'm not going to say he got unlucky because I think DRMZJOSEPH was very, very intelligent in bringing that Wind Robo there and even outspeeding RHYS there, because I thought that was kind of impactful that even happened there. But without that Wind Robo, I think RHYS actually takes that third match there if the Wind Robo wasn't there, or even, you know, cut in when it did. But I think RHYS played his match. He did really, really well up against a previous America's Cup champion, and I hope RHYS does do well when he goes down into the redemption bracket.
Oh yeah, and putting RHYS in that position of like, who do you ban? You need to ban the Leo, but do you want me to have the Wind Robo? Seppi, you called that one out in the draft too, and I thought that was a really good observation there, because there really is no right answer. You gotta ban the Leo, but then you get punished.
Yeah, hailing from Peru, DRMZJOSEPH has, you know, over 5 years of tournament experience. So I think this is a good, you know, showing of that. Knowing how to make your opponent uncomfortable, how to take them off of that comfort zone, and you called it very well. Joseph was not out of that comfort zone. Even on match 2 where he lost the Masha. I think it was a little bit of overconfidence, letting the miles through and understanding that unit, you know, letting the combo with a Rakuni and kind of just proving, let's see if this guy can do it. And RHYS proved that he's a very strong player. So maybe for the redemption bracket, he can just try to adapt a little bit more so his playstyle is less predictable and more difficult to respond to.
Yeah, after seeing what he brought to the table, I've got confidence that RHYS is going to do fairly well in the losers bracket next weekend. So I'm looking forward to seeing more of him playing and potentially achieving that redemption that we've been foreshadowing for the whole stream so far. We still have a ton of awesome games ahead of us today. If I'm not mistaken, I believe Zex versus MADREAMDY is coming up next. Tell me here, so Stoic, we've seen MADREAMDY several times before. He's got quite the pedigree when it comes to SWC, and he's made it very far in the past. Could you tell me a little bit about him?
MADREAMDY is a very intelligent player. He's been a clean drafter throughout all of his SWC experience. He was a runner-up back in 2021 or 2020, I think. It was him. It was him in Big V.
You got it, 2021. Yeah.
Oh, it was 2021. There we go. Yeah, I should. MADREAMDY is a very, very excellent player. Great drafter. I'm expecting a great showing. It's a little surprising he's still playing a lot of this Dakonimusha, because I feel like a lot of people will know him as a Dakonimusha drafter. Curious to see, is that exactly what we may see again today? But I do think a lot of that heavy ban might be towards this Dakonimusha play, because in the Americas Summit, we saw a lot of that Dakonimusha, and it may still be prevalent in today's matches with MADREAMDY.
Yeah, it feels like maybe MADREAMDY might have something in his back pocket to surprise us and the folks watching it at home there, because especially things like the Nana, you pointed out the Ongiyuki, like some of these things, I'm not going to say faded into obscurity, but they've definitely kind of lost a little bit of their footing when it comes to the current meta there. So I expect that MADREAMDY is going to have some fun surprises for us. Now, on the other side of that coin, here's Zex. So Seppi, looking at what Zex is drafting here with the Volantis, the Zavala, the Dark Robo, what do you think he's trying to do?
I actually really like the matchup. I think Zex into MADREAMDY going with this more aggressive turn 1, you know, double stripper comp, the Zavala with a very high base speed. He has a very powerful LD unit on Volantis as well, but if I'm not mistaken, MADREAMDY also has Volantis, so we'll see if he can keep it. But I think that the core unit for both sides, if they stick to their playstyle, will be the Oliver. And let me tell you why. Because if you take the Oliver away from MADREAMDY and you bring in something like an Abelio, you can interrupt that combo of Nana on Yuki, cut in, don't let people die, and you don't get reset. But if the Oliver is on MADREAMDY's side, he's going to be so comfortable, and he's going to be able to reset all of those units that are going to cause him trouble. So that's going to be probably the key unit in this matchup. So I expect it to be pre-banned and first picked. If it doesn't, might be the difference maker.
You are so right, man. It's like we were talking about. We've been talking about it the whole tournament so far. Oliver's one of those units that dictates a game, whether or not he's in it, even. But I really like what Zex is showing. I don't know if that's the team theme that he's going to be approaching these games with. However, he seems to be playing the same way I like to play, which is control, reset, and I love the Volantis. Guys, here we go. MADREAMDY versus Zex. We're getting into the games right now. Stoic, Seppi, take it away.
Well, let's get into this match right here with Zex and MADREAMDY. Match number 1, pre-bans coming up.
We called it, my friend, Oliver getting pre-banned. The Zabala on the other side. So Zex says, MADREAMDY, you're getting turn 1. I don't want to get reset. I don't want to give you that 33% speed lead. Let's see if Zex brings in, you know, a unit that didn't appear there, which is the Juno, but it's really strong against his Volantis. So if he wants to play Volantis, I love how you talk about strategy when sometimes players are kind of like telling us, right, Stoic, a little bit ahead of time that they're gonna pick that Volantis later by picking the Juno early.
Yeah, exactly. I'd be curious if we see that here, because Zex clearly is going to be a turn 1 player. I think he's still going to be contesting that speed. He may change it. Who knows? I mean, we see a Water Ryu coming out here from MADREAMDY showcasing that he, too, might be a turn 1 player. He's going to go first here with that 24 speed lead. There's a lot of options right now for Zex, but his most pick here is definitely in a world of responding to first turn, but it looks like we're going turn 2.
I told you the Juno's coming out, baby, and I love the first Shizuka. Finally, the most picked monster. Can she get a win right here? Or will she get a couple losses like she did in the China qualifiers? Interesting response right away with the Praha, an AoE strip, and with a reset from Changpeng, 2 great units into this Shizuka.
Yep, there's that Volantis. We almost knew that was going to be coming through, like we had stated before. Juno hits the field first, and then Volantis comes and follows. We're going to see a turn 1 unit in the form of Ethna. No speed lead's been locked in by Zex right now, but clearly we could be looking at a Water Ryu ban here, and then turn 1's going to be going to Zex because he's got that very fast unit. MADREAMDY bringing in a Hey Gang, and we'll see if there's going to be a nice speed contest unit here to wrap up MADREAMDY's draft.
You know what? Very interesting picks, but one thing that I don't love is the Hey Gang pick. I think he's gonna lack a little bit of damage, and if Zex picks another wind, yes, fast unit, he can guarantee that he takes turn 1 even into this. Right now, what would you like to see banned on that side? Do you still like the speed lead ban, but now that there's triple water versus double wind, do you think he's gonna swap the ban, Stoic?
I mean, this is tough. Do you ban out that 24 speed lead, or do you ban out the Dumon? I feel like Dumon's such a dangerous unit. Ethna's going to get the bullet here, though.
I agree with you. I would not like to see the Dark Sister on the field, but she comes through, so a lot of damage. The Hey Gang gets the ban, and turn 1 will go to this very fast Water Ryu. Can he get some strips, stuns? He doesn't risk it because he doesn't want to give the Volantis the chance to strip his team on the way back. So now gets the beautiful Karma on her. Can she also throw skill 3 right away? The Curse of Death is put on the Shizuka. Can you tell the watchers what the Curse of Death does, Stoic?
Oh my God, there's 4 turns right now, and every turn he's gonna Shizuka's gonna tick down to health to pretty much death, and it's absolutely insane. What a dangerous unit Dumon is, or I like to call it Dormammu. She's came to bargain with her life here. It's a very dangerous unit. But we're gonna see a skill 2 pop out here. Defense break's probably gonna be hitting the field right now. Doesn't even need that defense break on the Shizuka because it's just you're gonna watch this skill go off. It really is nuts.
Yeah, this Shizuka is gone. Like we said, it's a Curse of Death. It's a death sentence. It's ticking down, and she also takes more damage. The problem right now is that the Changpeng was very key, landing those glancings, and Volantis couldn't apply a lot of debuffs. Same thing for the reset on the Wind Robo, and now it's 4v3. I think it's going to be a very difficult match to bring back.
Yeah, definitely a very difficult match indeed. Like, I don't know what you do about this Dumon. Dumon's gonna be even more dangerous in 3 turns. It's just, there's not much you can do, to be honest.
Yeah, I think he should have banned that unit, to be honest. That's why I was surprised by the Hey Gang. The Hey Gang was a problem turn 1, but was a monster that didn't bring anything after that. So I think he got too afraid of a disruption and misbanned. So game 1 goes to MADREAMDY with the beautiful Dumon.
What it's a unit that I've always said, like, I didn't care if I got it, but the more I watch this and the more that I ban it in RTA, the more I would actually want one of these units. But I too would like to bargain with my opponent's soul. It's too good.
Yeah. Let's see. Zavala was the pre-ban on the last match together with Oliver. Will MADREAMDY take the Oliver away? Yes, sir. Pre-ban on the Oliver and no Yan Hong for MADREAMDY. This tells us, MADREAMDY is comfortable playing against this Volantis. He has the back pocket Hagang to deal with it, and he knows that he can outspeed if that doesn't present itself. The more is stolen away. Now, would you like to see still, that play style on turn one on MADREAMDY, maybe stealing away the Etna, other units like that?
I think MADREAMDY should play that Dumon once again. Clearly, I think Zex hasn't figured it out, according to that very first match. He went with turn one and he tried to push back attack bars and control this unit. That just wasn't happening right now. So I think Zex is still worrying about that lovely LD Nat 5 Dumon. And MADREAMDY is going to be responding with Zex's first picks from last time, that Shizuka and Juno.
I kind of love the presence of the Shizuka once again. And remember, the Shizuka got completely countered by her sister and lost match one. Now Zex says, I'm going to go to comfort zone. I'm going to bring 2 of the top 10 most picked units in RTA right now with a combo Miles and Rakuni. The Dumon in response coming out again. And remember, with the Shizuka can reduce her cooldowns and get that skill 3 back up once again. The question right now is, does he bring something else, a wind unit to deal with this double water, or does he just stay more neutral? Oh, interesting. The President, Tessarion, some Oblivion. There's 3 passives on the other side, but 2 of them are water. How reliable do you think that is, Stoic?
I think that's plenty reliable. I think Tessarion's in a great place right now. Big fan of Doc Cassandra, though. This unit's going to play out very similar to Fire Cassandra as well, where it's going to come in and potentially just remove something from the field. She's the better version of Fire Cassandra. This last pick from MADREAMDY, I think it can be very, very dangerous right now. I think Zex is in a world of potentially just banning out this... Zex is in a position... No, I'm sorry. MADREAMDY's in a position where he can draft whatever he wants, and it's going to be a very dangerous pick because Dumon right now is on that ban list, in my opinion, and whatever this 5th pick is has to be so good that Zex has to be in this limbo like, crap, do I ban out the Dumon or do I ban out this last pick?
Yeah, I wanted to see this Etna earlier. I think right now it doesn't do as much because, like you talked about, the Dark Cassandra is a better version of her Fire Sister, and she also has a speed lead. It is not 24%, but it's still 21%. So Zex has 2 speed leads, 3 very fast units that can deal with this, so he's probably going to take turn 1 either way, and the Dark Cassandra gets the ban.
I do think that Doc Cassandra was going to be the response there to the Dumon, so he bans out that Ethna, and I think Zex is going to have a problem once again. He's got to worry about this Dumon.
Yeah, he needs to fully control right here. Can he try to get the strip resisted? Here we go. Gets the strip now with a wind robo. That was really good, even though he missed on the Shizuka. The Shizuka can just throw everything back on him if he doesn't get stunned right now by the Moor, and it doesn't.
It does not. We're going to see potentially a second skill going right back to the Miles. He's going to try and pump in more damage. No additional turns going to be popping out there. 3rd skill, all things hitting the field right now. Stuns going across all of Zex's units.
Interesting. Saving the Juno. Didn't want to strip the speed buff away. The Juno can try to bundle some damage, but the Robo is the first option, and this Rakuni that has been incredible in the tournament keeps healing the team. The Dumon's pretty low. The question right now is, with the Tessarion, which unit do you think that has the strongest passive that needs to be taken away?
Could be a lot of things right now. We've got 3 passives out there. I mean, he's already trying to just get rid of this Wind Robo. Wind Robo is going to get dumpstered right here. But of course, you got to apply that Kama first on the probably max resistance for Kuni, making it look like absolute nothing here. And there's that 3rd skill. In my opinion, that's just, it's game right there.
Yeah, the Curse of Death coming out before he managed to remove it from the field is too strong, because now he gets rid of the sustain on his side. Even though it's a 3v3, it's going to be really difficult to deal with it because you have this Rakuni almost dead, but a proc actually might be safe. Look at this. Stoic, the turnaround.
I forgot that when Dumon dies, the curse is going to be going away. So obviously, things are looking much better for Zex.
Yeah, and it's going to be really difficult to take the game back with 2 fire units versus 2 water units. He has to land it, misses the Oblivion. The Tessarion not as effective, but gets a proc. This proc is very interesting. What can you do with it? Do you have enough damage to kill this Rakuni? No, you just try to guarantee that Tsaran survives, but their strip is there. Removes the blessing. Oh my god, the Rakuni keeps healing and showing it to be a monster that is so tanky, so difficult to take down.
I mean, Rakuni proving to be exactly what it's been on all tournaments across the board of every region right now. Rakuni's just been an absolute monster. What a terror this little creature is.
You know what, Stoic? He's just getting it back. Come to Us has made him suffer so much, and as every marketing, he always dies. So he says, you know what? I'm going to kill other monsters now. I'm not getting killed anymore.
Yeah, absolutely. Miles is going to be the perfect unit to help get rid of this Juno here. So Zex responding actually very, very well to the Dumon.
Very, very well. Great match. And once again, the Miles being a very important monster in here. We saw it in the match that DRMZJOSEPH lost. And now we see it once again here, paired up with a Rakuni. This combo is too powerful. What would you adapt if you were MADREAMDY in this game number 3? Would you just go back to, you know, game 1 strat? Or would you be ready for that Rakuni and that Miles coming out together?
Yeah, that's interesting. We still have the same pre-bans here. So MADREAMDY had full control in that very first match there. I was actually kind of hoping that we were going to be seeing a Dumon ban going into this match here, but it looks like no. I think Zex may have it figured out. Water Ryu, the first pick from MADREAMDY, and curious to see if we're going to see that Shizuka... Shizuka Juno, I think, was the first pick from very first match with Zex. I don't know if we should repeat that.
He changes, brings in Jameer. That is a great counter to reset, but we haven't seen anything on MADREAMDY's side yet. Does that tell you that he's just going to bring it as a counter, or that he might bring the combo? The Jameer Tableau, I've seen a couple comps in RTA that use Jameer, Tableau, and Shizuka with the double, whatchamacallit, the Fire Cassandra, because then you guarantee that you revive, even if it gets killed, yada, yada.
That'd be very interesting if we saw that here. I think that's definitely a great strategy, but that's definitely betting on both those units being able to kill MADREAMDY's units. MADREAMDY's got some great rune quality in there, and you cannot forget about that. I'm a big fan of this Masha hitting the field, though.
Yeah, I love the Masha. Great against the Darkon Miyuji and also against the Juno. The Rakuni being brought on to bring some sustain from MADREAMDY is a great pick, but we'll need a last pick that is some damage and can counter these units. Maybe a Verd is interesting here into the double wind, and the Robo if you are planning to let it hit the field.
Interesting. So MADREAMDY is going to lock in, of course, that combination between Water Ryu more with a Chung Peng as well. Now, we saw Zex in one of his most picks as well, this Doc Robo. He's going double Robo here with the Jameer combination. Does he let that Jameer through?
Yeah, very interesting. Does this mean that this Water Ryu is getting banned for sure because he wants to turn one with one of the Robos in case the Jameer is banned with a speed lead?
Yeah, I think that's definitely the route. You got to do that. He's got lots of attack bar pushback there, so he may not have to worry about Dumon. I almost keep saying Dormammu. Dumon, and he is going to be doing that. So the ban on the speed lead happens. I think that Masha was a must delete in my opinion. But Zex does have a pretty solid team right now.
Yeah, I really like Zek's team, but also MADREAMDY has a lot of sustain and two very tanky fire units that can try to solo this team. Let's see if he gets everything that he wants, gets the reduction, but gets cut by the Juno that gets the stun on the monster that was going to stun. Now he has to go for skill 2. Didn't want to use skill 3 yet, and now the Dark Robo has to do the reduction and then use his skill 3. The question is, can it stun the Dormammu? No, it didn't.
No.
The Dumon, it doesn't stun the Dumon.
Stun the Dumon. Oh, we do have a stun now, though, with that Shizuka. Thank God for that third skill being up there to keep MADREAMDY back. Obviously, everything's going to get cleansed by this Rakuni. Even if Rakuni gets a couple additional turns here, he could cross his fingers for one. That's not what's going to happen here. We have no skills up with the Juno, so Zex is looking very safe at the moment.
Yes, Stoic, the combo's coming through. He could even just use skill 3. Why didn't he? Why is he saving it up? Because he wants to just save it up. Stun, gets the double. Triple stun is not here, and he's playing it slow. I don't know if it was a little bit risky, because now the Juno can come in, do some damage. Would you have used that skill with the Jameer and just gone for full, once again, all the skills?
Potentially, I think I would have done that as well, but we'll see. I'm not going to vote against any of Zex's decisions right now just yet, but he's got some beautiful stuns coming out here with that skill too. The Juno, the Juno did resist it here. It looks like he's going to drop that Chung Pung anytime now, though.
Yeah, the Chung Pung is dead. The Rakuni and the Dumon are still alive. Can he do it right now? Yup. He resets cool time. Now he'll get a big proc. The Rakuni will cleanse right now and gets a big proc to save the Dumon, and he can give the turn to the Dumon right now to use her Karma and then her skill 3, Curse of Death. Which monster do you want to get rid of?
I think you put this on top of the Shizuka, potentially. Oh, but there's a cut in right here with a little bit of attack bar reduction as well. I was going to say, I don't think he uses that skill 3 just yet on that Shizuka, but more attack bar pushback. He was not able to use that Curse of Death with Dumon.
Very interesting. Misses the stun and gets it.
No way.
Here.
I'll be honest, I didn't think that skill could be resisted. That was very surprising.
Yes.
I've never seen it ever get resisted anytime I've ever played against this unit, but it does get resisted on the Jamire. That was quite incredible. I do think we might even be in a position where he might want to use that third skill. I think he was hoping for a violent proc because he was actually thinking about it for sure. Additional turns coming out of Rakuni, pumping away on this Wind Robo.
Yeah, the Dark Robo has been super key, but the problem right now is that one unit is down and the Jameer is almost down. Even though Zex still looks like in control, all units are getting down. This Juno will get stronger and stronger. And if she gets a couple stuns, she might be able to decide this match, Stoic.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, he kind of wants to use this third skill, but that's going to bring a lot of healing to the team here. Rakuni getting down really, really low. He's trying to pump himself up there to get some cleanses out there, try to get this Dumon back online. The additional turn to drop Jamire. Not at all what Zex needed to see right there, but we do have a third skill available. That would be extremely dangerous. Throw down more revenge despair stuns. That is wild.
Yeah, the Juno has been the key. She's so low, though.
Is this going to be enough to get the Juno?
Is it? No, it's at 1 HP, and the Rakuni saves her. The Juno can try to finish now. The Dark Robo together with the Dumon. Oh my God, this match is so close. Both players picking really well. Small details, taking, stuns away. Little procs that are defining the match, and with that is going to be Shizuka against the world. Can the Robo? No, he doesn't have skill 2 to try to finish everyone.
No, it does not. Even if that was going to be enough there to drop that Dumon, it's going to be it. Net Curse of Death right there is the game settler right there. There's just no turning back from that. The Despair Stuns roll out. Won't even need that Curse of Death to go off anymore because I think Juno is going to be enough there. MADREAMDY moving forward and taking down Zex.
Wow, MADREAMDY really showing the power of his draft in that one, and Rakuni truly being a powerhouse for that team there, Seppi.
Very impressive, Evan. Very close matches. Great adaptation from both players, but MADREAMDY came down on top with a couple clutch stuns, a little proc by Rakuni, but I think the most important thing, the double fire into the wind units with the Juno into a team that had a lot of debuffs. So a couple of times he came really close to getting rid of the whole team on MADREAMDY's side, but the Juno kept healing everyone up because of those dots, those stuns, and a couple missed attack bar reductions, if we're being completely honest.
You're so right. And Stoic, I think you called it out too. There were a few moments in that game where Zex was showing the utmost patience and control in using those skills, but at the end, there may have been an opportunity where he could have used that third skill from Shizuka. The only problem was that Juno that was causing some really interesting breakpoints for the decision making.
Exactly. I mean, it's one of those situations where Juno is kind of just that wrench like thrown in there that really stops you from wanting to do skills. I mean, even when we had Jamire wanting to revamp his skills as well, so it's like Zex has to remember everything that he has to choose to use and the things to hold back, but then the Jamire is one of its greatest things that he offers is being able to refresh all those cooldowns, but he's at a moment where he's not using these cooldowns just because this Juno is going to be such a problem for him to deal with.
Yeah, very well said. Jameer at a couple points did kind of feel like he was just sitting there. He didn't contribute too much. He had one big push with that third skill, but at that point you couldn't throw anything out because we were too deep into the mid game, and Juno would inadvertently heal everybody off it, or Raccoony would just cleanse. The problem is that I think in that one, even though I love the way Zex played it out, I think a few of his picks might have played into MADREAMDY's draft a little too hard there. MADREAMDY really showing his power and flexibility in that one. And also, one thing that I wanted to point out there, Seppi, there was one opportunity at the end where we saw what I would say would be some evidence towards the inclination that Shizuka had been impacted by that most recent nerf when she brought the Dark Robo back, but no skills were available.
Reduction. Yeah, that was a really good note. I was like, wait, am I trying to count it right or wrong? Because now it doesn't reduce, so did it have skill 2? That would have been a game changer if it came back with it. But you know what? Still a very strong unit, very well picked. I think this was one of the closest matches that we've seen in the qualifiers so far. The only kind of big thing that we're seeing as well is Miles has been such a high impact unit. When players that pick him a lot get him, they guarantee a win. You know, we saw it in this match. We saw it against DRMZJOSEPH. Let's see if people keep denying the Miles and take players out of their comfort zone, and they need to find something else, you know, to fit into that play style.
You're right. He's got an incredible passive combined with a skill 2 single target strip, and the fact that he works better with Raccoony than your average unit, huh, Stoic? See, the thing is that, like, Raccoony is obviously just a great pick into a team, but when you bring in the speed buff and the fact that it is a buff, all of a sudden, Miles starts to shine.
Yep, that's right. I mean, Raccoony might actually be the reason why Miles just keeps getting so much attention right now, where no one wants to see this Miles pop off on them, because the Raccoony just keeps enabling it, keeps pumping it up, giving Miles more and more turns. I feel like out of all the units to Violent Proc, you see a Miles Violent Proc and you're just like flipping your desk, flipping tables, throwing objects, because you just see the amount of damage coming out of this Miles. It just pumps so hard that you really do have to worry about it, and Raccoony just makes it even worse.
Oh, absolutely. It's Seppi. You just mentioned back to the DRMZJOSEPH game where Miles was the reason why we didn't see Camilla again after that round.
Yeah, the Miles just hits too hard, man. And what Stoic said, it's probably one of the most impactful Violent Procs in the game right now. It reminds me of Molong back in the day, because the thing with Miles is, if you proc, you have that skill 2 back once again on the next turn. It's pretty crazy. And you have strip, stun, attack bar reduction, lots of damage. So it's a monster that doesn't do a lot, right? They can't do much.
In theory? Huh?
Oh, yeah.
Molong can't do much, right? Big call back there. Guys, we're 2 matches deep into the quarterfinals right now, and next up, we've got ZEFA versus CROCODILE. So we've seen ZEFA in games past. We've seen ZEFA around. CROCODILE, kind of new to the scene. Stoic, do you remember any instances of how we've seen ZEFA?
We've seen a lot of footage back on ZEFA, a malicious player here. ZEFA's been also one of the players that have been known to be a very, very clean drafter. He's definitely not known for an abundance of LD Nat 5s, but he is known to bring great strategy, great rune quality, awesome speeds, and, you know, he's also going to be a player potentially looking to take turn 1 away, but a lot of people, once again, everyone's favoring this, like, turn 2, taking a step back in Raccoony style playstyle, but we'll see. I mean, Oliver obviously is going to, again, Oliver's going to always be on the table here for most of these players, but we see the Zabala, we see the Gianna, we see turn 1 coming out of ZEFA, and I think that's still going to be happening here. But every time we say it happens, everybody keeps coming back and reeling things in, because everyone's preparing for this Oliver, Miles, Raccoony nonsense that we just keep seeing throughout every single match.
Yeah, it seems like we're making moves towards that latter gameplay style that you suggested there. I called it out before too, but I really like this style of play, so I hope to see that, and I'd love to see the Cadiz in play. Kind of a content pick, but also offers a lot on his own. Seppi and I were talking about it before the stream. It's like the inverse of Verd with the attack bar reduction on his target, which is kind of cool. So the other side of this game is CROCODILE, another sleeper on the bracket there, Seppi. Why don't you tell me a little bit about what you're seeing here?
Yeah, Crocodile, this is his first time, and he's going to play into a player that last year was in the quarterfinals, so a little bit more experienced, but we can see right away those very powerful LD units. The Yanhong and the speed lead of the Nefties, lots of damage, AoE, and then a monster that counters those units very well, which is the Shizuka, also being picked up by him with the likes of Moore and the Changpeng. So let's see who's going to steal that Moore. That has been a very interesting unit. So not deserving the pre-ban so far because of the Olivers, you know, the Miles, but it's been a unit that people have been taking away. So we expect to see that once again and see who can land it and who adapts very well to losing the Moore and not being able to play in the comfort zone.
Well said. Moore's one of those units that stuck around for a really long time, even though he's been solved, quote unquote, with the presence of Oliver there, right? Like, you can actually answer him pretty easily within the span of a game, even like when Dominic was a thing. Like, when Dominic was here, Dominic could kind of take care of Moore in his own way by triggering that passive and then taking him out later. So now, the other thing that I wanted to point out there, he was picking Shizuka a lot in his most pick there. Also, we saw we also saw Nefties, but Rakuni is currently here. Veramos can be an answer to that. It seems like maybe they don't want to answer that. Guys, I'm going to let you take it away. ZEFA versus Crocodile is happening right now.
Yep, those pre-bans are locked in immediately. Neftis in Zabala getting the pre-bans right there. ZEFA with the first pick. We'll see where things are going. I'm potentially just going to see an Oliver first pick coming out of ZEFA. I think that's a very safe play and a great start to just feeling out your opponent here in a best of 3. We'll see what happens. Or maybe it's just a Rakuni. Slam the Rakuni down and see where things go.
I love that comment, Stoic. The interesting thing right here is that both players have done their homework. The pre-ban was so quick that they know what the other's playing. They've studied it. Let's see how they adapt. The Oliver taking on one side, as we talked about, the Water Ryu on the other. So these two very, high pick rate units and a great combo with the Changpeng. So Crocodile showing he's probably going to continue in his comfort zone. Let's see how ZEFA answers to this. Has the Gianna being down on the field, so says, I'm still going turn 1. The question right here, Stoic, is who do you favor? Do you like more of a full turn 1 comp or kind of like a mid-range comp like ZEFA is bringing with a Gianna speed lead and then the variety of a Shizuka?
Definitely favors ZEFA's draft, not just because it has an LD Nat 5 and the likes of Gianna here, but just that combination alone. He has that speed contest threat, so we can go turn 1. We know Gianna that usually is, and I believe this is ZEFA ruins his on Swift as well. Swift Gianna, great combination with Shizuka, a lot of volatility right here. Crocodile was opting to take a 33 speed lead, backing up and bringing a Laura and Hagang to the team. Obviously, Hagang known to be a counter for Gianna.
Yeah, great pick on the Hagang in there. Also a great unit against the Shizuka because it's another AoE strip. And the Laura, we didn't know that he had that. So another powerful LD unit. Do you think that the last pick will be a speed lead and trying to ban out this Dark Pioneer? Or will he, does that tell you that he's going to let it through?
I mean, I think that says he's going to be letting it through right now. Does he potentially just ban out the speed lead? But there is 2 speed leads for ZEFA, so I don't think he has to ban out the speed lead for Water Ryu here. It is going to be banning out the reset unit. Interesting.
Yeah. The Wounsa gets through like we called with a Vert on the field. Is the Laura outspeeding everyone with that very high base speed? No, the Wounsa takes turn 1 and goes for skill 3, reduces, gains attack bar, and the cut because of the passive from Hagang gets it on, but needs 2 more strips. Here we go. The Laura gets it, not on Gianna, but remember, even if he goes for the strip on the way back, he has the Hagang, so he's not that worried. He needs a stun on the Shizuka, but doesn't get it.
Yeah, phenomenal damage, by the way, from that Laura. Big resist there on the bomb, supposed to go onto the Vertiheal, so not happening right now, and I think ZEFA really wanted to see that. You see the skill 2, definitely misses the comma there, I believe, onto that Laura.
Yeah, I really like the Vert right here because the Vert's gonna give him a big advantage if he gets a stun on the Shizuka, but doesn't. Oh my god, he's missing everything. Now the Shizuka comes back and will give her sister the opportunity to take out all of that attack bar. He just has to be very dangerous on not stripping one of the units, so he cleanses them.
Yeah, you're going to see a lot of this turn one from this Gianna trying to pump in. Obviously, the unit of focus is going to be that Laura. Laura put out so much damage. That was really crazy to see those kind of numbers there. Bomb finally does land. Oh, 2-turn sleep going on to the Hay Gang, and the bombs are now landing.
Yeah, the bombs are out. And remember, this Tomoe is super dangerous because she can also put the bombs on everyone, but there's bombs on 2 units. The Laura is down. It came down to the res. This is very probably 100% res Shizuka, and she might have just won the match. What do you think about her finally showing up, Stoic?
Hey, Shizuka finally getting a win as well. This is why she's good. She's very, very good when it comes to anybody bringing like a bomb-style team here. And it's not like a bomb-style team. The guy just brought a Gianna, but being able to reapply all those bombs, it's a very, very great. It's just like, it just shows how good Shizuka is to be able to do things like that, where you see the bombs hitting the field as well. But Tomoe as well, like able to put those bombs up, just like you had said before. Strong draft from ZEFA. I'm curious to see what Crocodile is going to be responding with, because I think a lot of it's going to address that match that we just had, and it's going to show in this pre-ban here, potentially seeing a Gianna. Oh, I'm sorry. Pre-ban's already locked in.
Yeah, don't worry. He goes back to the original one. No Oliver, no Yan Hong. Now the Nefties comes out. And I love that you brought up how strong Tomoe is. She not only fit very well the comp, but she also brings that second speed lead, right? So you guarantee you take turn 1. I love that ZEFA is keeping the Shizuka. That's a very important unit for him. So I really like the picks on the first match. I think a couple of resists, you know, playing against 100% res unit on ZEFA's side. And now ZEFA brings in the Jameer to not be worried about Chungpung. He knows that his opponent loves using Chungpung, so this is a great unit to counter it. And Chungpung is very strong against Shizuka, and you see it hit the field still.
What I really, really like right now is what ZEFA brought in that very first match is very different, in my opinion, going into this round 2. So he has to keep Crocodile on his toes right now, bringing in a Jameer, because there's all sorts of routes you can take when you bring a Jameer first pick here with that Shizuka as well. I do like Crocodile's draft here. I love that he has the Neftis, the great speed lead. Laura, very, very impactful with that Chungpung as well. But ZEFA going, all right, back to that similar play style in that first match here. We see the Gianna, we see the Zabala come out here. Zabala known to be a very fast unit.
Yeah, very high base speed and interesting. Crocodile taking the Riley out of the box, and impressively, Antares' brother that cannot be controlled, my friend. What is this draft? I'm very happy to see some different units.
Yeah, this is really interesting. I know this unit's just be a straight damage dealer. It's going to be trying to single tag it and remove something from the field. I would assume that's what's going to be happening here. I wish I could tell you more about it, but let's see if ZEFA can actually combo out with this, because I know this did not be a great unit when that collaboration came out here, and I know it did receive a buff. Is that buff going to be impactful enough for ZEFA to really surprise us here with something here? But Zabala definitely going to be taking turn 1.
Yeah, very interesting. Can he remove the Rigel, the water Antares, quickly enough? Does he go for the Chungpung? Ignore defense, 29k, but not enough. Can the Jameer finish it off? No! If he doesn't get cut after this trip and gets the strip on the Shizuka, doesn't get it. Doesn't get it, but she cuts in, which is good because the Chungpung can go for the strip on the other side and then try to proc into a reduction. Let's see if he gets that. The Riley has the heals. I doubt that this is able to kill a unit right now.
I think that was pretty neat to watch a unit pop off like that, but I definitely would have preferred to see like a Diapnis or a Fire Cassandra in that role. I feel like we would have had some better results here. But hey, we're seeing a nice fancy LD Net 5 come to the table and try to be useful. But that unit's going to be gone now, this Water Rigel doing away with that, that Light Assassin unit.
Yeah, I really like the Rigel pick, to be completely honest. Removed it from the field immediately. The additional damage is crazy, and Chungpung showing why it's such a good unit against Shizuka, even though it missed the reset. So Shizuka still has it there, and now Jameer just to use it to guarantee the cleanse. But the units are so low, and he has the heal from Riley. I don't know,
no
my friend.
way!
Yeah, beautiful extra turns from the Laura. And he has to go for it either way. He has to go for the increased cool time and the freeze, but he goes for the improvise. Interesting. Saves it. wants to use it with the Shizuka. Raigo's gonna continue to put out damage. Once he's out of that attack break, one unit might leave the field.
Now, let's see what happens. Obviously, there's a stun going to be on top of this RHYS, so he's not too worried about waking this unit up here. Freeze is going to go across the board, especially not landing on top of this light Lich Low.
Can he get the removal right now? He doesn't have the skill yet because she was nerfed, so he has to put interesting. The threat state on the Shizuka gets rid of this Chungpung, but the question right now is, how long can these units stand with this low HP? She procs once again, not the best proc. The Riley is very strong into this matchup, bringing a lot of healing, a lot of sustain, and now protects the team. Let's see if he can do something about it.
Yeah, I gotta admit, I am not a big fan of this this light guy right here. I mean, we had that second skill go out and it just applied the threat state and that was it. That was a lot of damage, but of course we're seeing a unit still alive right now and it's trying to do away with the threat state sitting on top of the Shizuka, so maybe the threat state is what came in handy right here. But if that third skill pops off with Laura, or even a second skill at this point, I think ZEFA is going to be in a lot of trouble.
The threat state has been clutch, Stoic. I can't believe that as well. And once again, the ignore defense, even leaving the Raigo at 1 HP, has been a really cool combo. I gotta give it to him, you know. She was nerfed, but he can continue to bring it back. He'll get the cooldown reduction to 1, so next time he brings it back, if the Shizuka manages to survive, it will have the ignore defense. It can remove another unit. He can just give turns right here, try to keep the Shizuka alive. That's what he does. Can throw the stun on the face of this Laura. Wow. And now he brings it again. Oh my god, this combo is incredible. Oh.
That's definitely working out for him here. A little bit of damage coming towards that Laura. Laura's still holding on right now. I think he's got to drop this Laura. I think if Laura gets an opportunity, I do think ZEFA can still be in a little bit of trouble here. There he goes. He does have a lot of buffs on the field, but you see the soul protection is out there, so these units will be revived back. There's a soul protection. We get 2 units back here, but he did finally get that third skill off.
Yes, he finally removed it, but now the Jameer has so much damage. Can he proc into the kill? No proc for the Shizuka to get rid of this Laura. The Laura right now with buffs on it. Can she get a stun to guarantee the win? No, but she gets an extra turn.
Man.
Asleep?
Big
no,
additional turn right there.
Yes.
Oh, we got a nice additional turn with the Shizuka, though.
Does he greed or does he not greed? That is the question. He goes for it. Guaranteed.
Is it enough?
Kill.
Is this gonna be enough?
It is enough! It's a 1v1!
No way!
Shizuka, no! Oh my god! Crocodile! With Laura! Take it away! This match against them!
Oh, man. Okay, all right, I'm going to say it again. If that was a Daphnis, I do think a Daphnis would have been a better pick than the Light Assassin. I'm going to stand by that. Now, it did have enough damage to remove that Riley from the field, and I thought that was wild. But I do think the value could have been elsewhere. The threat state, in my opinion, was okay.
My dear friend, I will ask you something, though. Would have Daphnis been as fun and surprising as this?
No, the animations on that skill are very, very nice. So it's super cool to see a unit like that. And it got to showcase here on the SWC stage. So that's really, really neat. I don't think we see that unit again from ZEFA, to be honest with you. I think that was you were riding a fine line here, ZEFA. And I would say it didn't feel as safe as it should have been. If he got that initial kill right out the gate, I would have said, hey, this unit's great, man. I think it's awesome. Great showcase from ZEFA. Let's try that again. But I think it was a little too scary for him.
You know what? ZEFA might not have gotten the win on this one, but he did win my heart. So I want to see some hearts in chat for ZEFA, bringing some different units. Crocodile as well, you know? Bringing a Riley that we haven't seen in a while at this level of play. The Raigo that we haven't seen in years. These two guys have been incredible today. We love seeing different comps, different units, and now we see a very powerful, high base speed LD unit that gains attack bar, reduces cooldowns. Like, I'm already excited about this match number 3, Stoic.
Yeah, I'm definitely a big fan of this Eleanor, I believe is her name. Eleanor for Crocodile here. Oh, we're going to see a Wind Momo coming out here. Now, this is a neat unit that's been brought to my attention after the buff here. So it's able to stack up. It stacks much quicker. It applies defense break with second skill. And it's able to pump a lot of damage with that first skill. Thank you, Zig. This is a unit that Zigbear did bring to my attention. And I'm actually really, really liking this unit. I think it's very, very good right now. And I think it's going to come in handy going up against ZEFA. I think that Masha and Cadiz are pretty terrifying in my opinion.
Masha needs to be banned right here. Out of everything that's on the field, he cannot deal with Masha with his 4 units, so he's gonna have to take the Cadiz, even though very strong, but he needs to pick something last that guarantees a ban as well, so he can play more comfortably into this comp, because right now, it looks like ZEFA has the upper hand, Stoic.
Yeah, I think ZEFA should have the upper hand as well. That Masha hit the field, and that's a very, very dangerous unit to have to deal with right now. Watery, I think, is a very, very good response for Crocodile. I like that. Yeah. I think this is solid draft for both players, in my opinion, but I do have to get a lot of credit right now to ZEFA. Gianna ended up getting the ban here. Wateryu gets the ban here. I think Crocodile's probably on the ropes in this one.
Ooh, yeah, the Masha getting through is super dangerous, but let's see what happens. You know, this Laura deals with a lot of damage, and turn 1 is going to this incredibly fast collaboration monster. The Cadiz now has the opportunity to reduce attack power. He's probably going for the Laura to guarantee the reset. Yep, that's what he does. Now there's space. The Masha, whoa, look at that combo. Man. So much damage out of this monster.
What an impactful unit. Masha just, Masha can be an absolute all-star here, especially if it's able to violent proc. It comes across just like how impactful a Miles can be as well, but landing that defense break huge, removing units from the field is massive for ZEFA right now. Crocodile definitely on the back foot.
Yeah, he goes for the Momo right now. He needs to try to remove a unit. Look at the damage, Stoic. 1 HP right now, almost dead, but he couldn't kill anyone. The question right now is, can he guarantee that his units survive for a couple turns until he manages to get over that threat state?
Yeah, we'll see that. Riley obviously bringing lots of sustain to the table here. Cadiz does have an ability to restrict there, but does not get that immunity off as well. So we are going to see some damage still coming out of this Masha. Masha's still able to produce lots and lots of threat here. And that unit of focus is going to be Momo. Keep in mind, all these stacks are going up. Momo's going to produce a lot of damage. Does drop that Water Assassin.
I don't know, my friend. We might be surprised by this Momo. Momo might be enough to take down the mighty Masha. He needs to target. The danger right now is if you target the Momo, she'll counter you and you can die. So he needs the Riley to protect the Momo, so you guarantee. I don't know about that. I would have used the protection. Because
no!
Masha can deal a lot of damage.
Oh, that's a lot of damage here. I think he has to stay on top of that Momo. If ZEFA wants to stay in this match, that Momo is going to be very dangerous. Defense break on the field. Drops the Momo. ZEFA in full control right now.
Yes, that was a great targeting from his side, and I don't know, the Riley could have used skill 2 and put in that immunity to not open up for the big damage from the Masha, but he didn't do that. You know, interesting. And now with 3v1, ZEFA taking control, the beautiful Cadiz and Masha picks into the win.
And ZEFA moves forward. Both players giving us so many cool content picks. We saw the light and water Ezio, and we also got a Momo at the end. Guys, that was an awesome game.
What a phenomenal match between ZEFA and Crocodile. Like, that was entertaining for every single match. Like, nothing but being on the edge of your seat for that one. Really, like, if we could have every match of SWC like that, everybody wouldn't even be sitting on chairs anymore. That was incredible. So big congratulations for ZEFA, and honestly, just such an entertaining match. Congratulations for Crocodile for just having a really great showing up against a player like ZEFA. ZEFA's got a lot of SWC experience, man, and it really did show. You know, maybe he didn't prove me too wrong with that light Ezio pick there, but I think it was neat. I think it was a really cool unit to showcase. It was very, very entertaining to see that one. But hey, we'll see what we'll see what ZEFA has in store with potentially Ezio in the future.
I gotta say, Stoic, I'm kind of a fan of the threat state, man. I thought it was pretty cool with the damage reduction, but I totally understand what you're saying. Daphnis could have clutched up a kill right at the beginning. Seppi, why don't you tell us what we're seeing here in these highlights?
We're seeing two players that are very creative. Match one kind of ended up a little bit abruptly because, you know, lacking a little bit of damage on Crocodile's side. Game two, probably the most exciting match we've seen in a long time at SWC. Loving this. The, you know, kind of content picks coming out. Already a fan of both of these players. And then in the end, the Laura did come in the clutch, and I can't believe, even with the monsters coming back with the soul protection, it was a one-hit game. A proc could have changed it all. Like right here when we saw that ignore defense taking out the Riley, how hype was that?
It was so hype. I lost my mind, and so did chat, to be honest. That was a great moment, Stoic.
It really was, you know, it's cool to see units like this get showcased here, but then again, we got to see units that we have seen perform really well, like Masha, and I think Masha really was an all-star in that last match there between Crocodile and ZEFA. I think Momo did have a place where it really got to shine. We got to see some big damage from this Momo, and that's because of the buff that it received. It's able to get these stacks so much faster and produce so much more damage as well, and also receive less damage, but Masha did not care about that passive. She pumped through it, and ZEFA got that big victory over Crocodile.
Oh yeah, and Momo definitely showed her validity in that match. Like, that pick was so cool. I loved seeing that moment where everybody thought like, oh man, already down a unit, game's done, but then Momo comes in and almost does a reverse cleave. I thought that was so cool to see, especially on the SWC stage. Now, ZEFA is the one that's going to move forward, and Crocodile, we're going to get to see more of next weekend in that Redemption Arc bracket. Seppi, are you looking forward to seeing more Crocodile?
Oh my God, I am a huge fan already. The Momo was incredible. If she was protected by that immunity, could have even taken down the Masha, you know, because units from opposite elements, even when you have the disadvantage, if they're built tanky like that, with damage from the artifacts and also the strong passive, he could have gotten this match. I was frankly very impressed with both players' picks, adaptations, you know, and the plays in the match. This was extremely entertaining.
Oh yeah, they seemed very well matched up. I thought that was, I feel so bad asking for more after this, and yet I'm getting it, because after this we still get Vic versus Spires to look forward to. The quarterfinals aren't over yet. We're still on our way to the semis. Now, Vic is another one of those people on the bracket who we haven't gotten a chance to see on the SWC stage. But before we get there, Stoic, I wanted to talk to you one more time about Spires. You said that you gave Spires kind of a hard time last year after the America's Cup. Tell me a bit about that.
I did, and the only reason I gave him a hard time is because I met Spires in LA one time, and then Spires, I said hi to him inside Twitch chat, and we had a moment where I was like, Spires, I'm looking forward to seeing you at America's Cup, and he's like, dude, we've already met. I met you out in LA, and I was like, no, I forgot about his face, but he gave me a hard time about that. But I chose Spires to be that #1 player to become America's champion last year, and I told him he let me down. But I am expecting him to do really well in this match here. He has a lot of great tools and a lot of great strategies he brings to the table here, but a lot has to do with these newcomers, man. These newcomers really are surprising us a lot, and I gotta expect that Vic's gonna surprise us too.
Oh yeah, everybody has really proven that they deserve to be here. Now here's a closer look at Spires' gameplay strategy, his background. I've even had the chance to stream with Spires. He helped me with my placement battles this season. The dude's awesome. He's got a great mind for RTA. Seppi, tell me a little bit about the most picked you're seeing here.
Yeah, Evan, a lot of powerful LD units. The Gianna and the Tianlang are the cornerstone, still very strong in the current meta, together with the Oliver. Obviously, you want to pair them up with a speed lead. Maybe we'll see a more as well. And then the Masha right here, maybe it's been appearing more today, but remember, this is season 24. This season, Spires has been picking a little bit differently, a little bit more aggressive into those units, less Molly, and I expect to see that come up today.
Which is good. We've got Rakuni, who's the new Molly now. So here's Vic, and this is his first time at SWC, Stoic. Tell me a little bit about his playstyle based on the units we're seeing here.
I mean, anybody that uses Veronica is definitely a turn 1 player. This is someone that wants that turn 1. He has a beautiful 24 speed lead that he brings along with him. That's at Nephthys, and that's such a dangerous combination. Veronica Nephthys is incredible. Now, I believe Vic is the only Veronica user that we have in the America's Cup, so I can't expect a Veronica user to play poorly. I would only expect Veronica users to play well. So in this match with Vic versus Spires, I think Spires really has to worry about that turn 1, and the Veronica is a problem unit for Spires to worry about. So expect that Veronica to more than likely be in the pre-red.
Yeah, I think you're right there, Stoic. And unlike a few other players in that player profile, I noticed that those picks right now, those are still all very relevant in terms of a team that you could pick today and get really, really good results. A few other people we talked about yesterday, they've had their most picked from previous seasons and what we've seen of them thus far, but they've had to kind of change it up a little bit because some of those units have like faded away, like the Ongyuki and the Nana. But whether or not he's going to stick to this team is going to be shown right now. Vic versus Spires, the last match in the quarterfinals is happening right now. Stoic and Seppi, take it away.
Let's get into it, guys. Vic versus Spires. Our first match between these two right here. Pre-bans locked in, and as expected, Veronica and Tian Lang getting pre-banned.
Great pre-bans on both sides, Stoic. I love what they did. They did their homework, studied their opponents, and I want to say something else about the two of them. Maybe the chat can tell us who they're rooting for in this match. We talked about them more, but one of them has a picture smiling. How can you not like a guy that has a picture smiling? And then on the other side, we have someone that has a Zelda tattoo. How you cannot love someone that loves Zelda? You know, two very nice guys. We see the answers, both picking speed leads right off the bat. The Rakuni coming out. Is Spires going to go aggressive still? Are we going to see the Gianna gameplay? Or is he going to go Bruiser, showing the Kinky Riley out of your book? Wait, did you tell him to pick this, Stoic?
No, definitely not here at all. But I do think Vic locks in a Oliver and a Miles potentially, and I think that's what that Neftis and Rakuni kind of says right now. He wanted to showcase that potentially could be taking that turn one, locking in that Neftis, but then that Rakuni says like, hey, I can swap, and Spires open it up. He said he's going to go with a Kinky and a Riley. So Vic does have those two options open, and he can go with them. Both those units are going to perform very, very well up against what Spires has already.
Ooh, look at that. Sweeky coming back out in the match. Very interesting. I would have also preferred a Miles, to be honest. I love that you called that unit, but Suiki is interesting. In a match against, you know, a Kinky, against a Riley, longer match, it gets very, very powerful, gets those stacks. The question right now is, does Spires just bring full damage? And he does. The Han comes out of the box, and also there's no immunity, so the Asima shows to be very, very powerful into this. How do you deal with these two very high damage, high volatility monsters?
Yeah, that's super dangerous right now. Spires is bringing a lot of volatility with that Asima and that Han as well. Han with that single target elimination it can do, but the Asima able to just do so much damage so quickly. It does combo off with Spires' team very, very well. Combos very well with that Riley as well. So Vic's got to really respond well here, and he's going to be bringing this Chung Pung. Now, is the Chung Pung going to be built fast enough that he can cut in front of Spires here? That might be saying that this Water Ryu might be the ban, and he's going to try and get the edge on him early.
Very interesting. Yeah, he has a choice to make right here. Do you take one of the two high volatility units or the Water Ryu? I really like the ban on the Asima because if it's built on 100% res, you don't want to deal with that. The Water Ryu can cut in, but that's all good. The question right now is, can he withstand the damage that Spires is bringing with the Kinky and the Han?
Yep, well, Spires definitely going to be taking turn one here, and we'll see what happens with Spires' team, because Spires looking very, very fast, looking to get the early edge here on Vic, not getting that strip on top of that Oliver.
He already uses skill 2 on the Nefties to protect himself from these two units. The question right now is, can he remove this Swicky quickly, because the Oliver unfortunately is faster than the units on the other side, so the Han can remove a unit right now. Goes far ahead, simple solution, and solves the equation. The Sweek is out of the match.
Yeah, so much damage coming out of that Han, and that's definitely a unit that Vic still has to worry about. It's got a stun with that second skill, and it's just not over here. A lot of sustain coming up for Spires as well. Even though Neftis has the second skill to produce lots of negative effects on Spires' team here, there is that cleanse net Riley to keep up that healing.
Yeah, Stoic, I don't love the pick of the Suiki as a very cool monsters to see, but the Miles or another AoE strip would have been great, because now the Nefties and the Oliver played without a stripper in front. So they had two units that had immunity and they couldn't do anything about it. So he kind of just diminished the amount of damage that he could output.
Yep. Well, this Oliver does have no immunity on the other side of the field except when Riley's able to put it out there. So if he's able to keep that back and not let Riley get any immunity up here, Oliver might be able to take full control there because he did get that full attack bar reduction on top of the Riley, so he's doing a good job right there, but no attack bar pushback on top of that Han, so Han's still going to be primed and ready to potentially get a stun there on one of these units.
Yeah, I love this, but lacking a little bit of damage with the Suiki gone. The Suiki was the key unit to kill this Kinky late to get rid of the Han. Right now is everything landing on Oliver's shoulders. Oliver has to keep stealing the bar away, not let this Riley play, and the Nefties has to proc into that skill. She does it because now she gets it back from the Raccoony, puts the death breaks on everyone. Can the Oliver carry this game home, Stoic?
Yeah, Oliver really is trying to carry the game home. It's just going to be really scary if any defense breaks land that Vic was not prepared for, because he is going to be losing his Nephthys right there. There's just only so much this Oliver can do. So even though he has been keeping that immunity back, everyone is looking a little bit low, but that's just a Raccoony and an Oliver, and they got to do this all on their own.
Yeah, it's going to be really difficult to continue here. Oliver will need a couple Vio procs taking... Oh, and it is a Vio more that reduces but doesn't have enough. The question right now is, do you go for the kill? And the Han, yes, goes for it, trying to guarantee it before these Riley moves, but doesn't get... Is that enough reduction for the Oliver to play ahead again?
Ooh, I mean, I'm not too sure, but we'll see. He's trying to get either... That's a violent Kinky, by the way. That is not a despair Kinky.
Oh, it is not enough attack bar. That's what I was afraid of. Now, there's protection on that side, and you need to kill this Han. It's a 3v2, and make sure that your Oliver survives. Raccoony needs to keep pumping some healing, so the Kinky now that doesn't have any debuffs doesn't kill him. You know, it's a, like you said, a Vio Kinky, so if it death breaks into a proc, this can be very, very dangerous.
Yep, and then same thing goes with this Moore as well. This Moore is a violent Moore, and the problem with the violent Moore is it's able to keep that passive up at all times. Obviously, Oliver can be there to reset the passive and to stop it from getting it up so consistently, but the violent procs from the Moore is what gets that passive up consistently.
Yeah, I don't know. The Riley pick was really good from Spires, bringing in the sustain, coupled it up with the Kinky, and without that second strip, but wait, the Raccoony is saying, hold my non-alcoholic beverage because I have something to do still in this match.
I know this Raccoony's really trying to pop off right now, getting a lot of sustain, a lot of healings coming out onto this field there, trying to keep this Oliver covered here, and Oliver's going to be trying to get any attack bar and resets out here onto this field here. But keep in mind, I mean, you can't reset those totems from the Riley, so Riley will get that that 1-turn immunity and 2-turn attack buffs up.
Yeah, and finally the Riley getting a couple resists into this Oliver. Everything is landing on its shoulders. The Raccoony finally doesn't get a proc. The Oliver does get the proc. Needs to try to get rid of this Water Ryu, the Moore, very quickly. But now there will be a big opening for the Kinky. Can he kill? Ooh. And it kills the Oliver. Oh my God. Spires with a Game 1 win.
Yeah, really great victory there from Spires. Obviously, it's very, very safe when he's able to have so much to stand on the field and being able to remove units as quick as possible with that Han. So great draft coming from Spires. I really, really like the aggression, but I am expecting a change of pace here from Vic because he does have that Veronica back in his box now. So I think we're going to see a little bit more bread and butter coming out of Vic, where he gets to draft something a little bit more in his realm here.
I agree with you, Stoic. I think Spires drafted differently, so that surprised Vic, and then he changed it a little bit and made a small mistake, which was not bringing a AoE strip or another type of strip ahead of the 2 control units that had Speedly. So on this one, we expect him to change a little bit the draft and get that control, because now Veronica is on the table.
Yep, that is right. I mean, there's that 24 speed lead more hitting the floor from Vic. Spires had it last time. He's not going to have it this time as well. Tian Lang very quickly slammed in the match here with, again, a Riley hitting the field for Spires.
You know what? I'm loving the early Riley because she's very strong into these turn 1 control units. We see the Veronica with the reset, but like you say, you can't reset the totems, right? So I love that option. He goes full bruiser on this one. A lot of tanky units. The president of Summoner's War. Tessarion comes out because there's also a lot of passives. Would you let's wait for the last pick. Would you ban this Tessarion having these many passives on your side?
I mean, I do think Tessarion is a really strong unit in these cases, but something that I have experienced is Tessarion is just a single target unit. He's just not able to get all these Oblivions out onto the field when there's so many passives. Because if you see Tessarion, you see 5 passive, you would think, oh, Tessarion's going to own this field. Well, Tessarion has to land all of those Oblivions on all these passive units, but it's not enough sometimes. So I'm not technically afraid of the Tessarion here, and I think the Leo is a big threat piece that Vic almost has to ban out. Now, we do have that Fire Pure Vanilla hitting the field again. The Jackson at home. I've never been a fan of this unit. I feel like it's just not enough.
Well, not everyone has a Jackson, my friend. So, you know, they got to try something else. And what I love about Spire's draft is, I do agree with you. Tessarion is the kind of unit that we think, oh, Tessarion's not ISIS, right? It's like, you don't put Oblivion in everyone. But in this case, a proc can kind of define the match. So I like Spire's ban. The question right now is, does he have enough damage output to get rid of the high volatility units until, and then you can go to the Meiho Wang. Turn 1, obviously, to Leo, goes for the damage, reduces the attack bar. This Chunk Bug without Will, very interesting choice.
Yeah, very interesting indeed. You're going to see that big skill getting the full strip here. A lot of resistance there going on top of the Veronica as well.
I don't know. This draft is looking very good for Spires. I think that this Chunk Bung needs to not reset everyone, not reduce all attack bars. He's in a good spot. He's going to try to put the Death Break. Comes in with the Death Break on the Tian Lang. Here we go. Gets a little bit of healing. Remembering this can kill if it procs. It doesn't proc. Is it a Despair or a Vio Chunk Bung? We'll find out in seconds. Does it go for skill 2 or 3? It goes for skill 3, and it is Despair, but it dies in the counter to the Kinky.
Yeah, it dies in the counter. A lot of damage coming up from that Kinky on these Revengers, around 2,300 damage there as well. Defense break sitting on top of Veronica, and I think this might be a quick one here for Spires. Just all these Revengers and able to get these defense breaks across the field with the Kinky and that Tian Lang is just making these units way too oppressive when those defense breaks are almost always coming out, it feels.
Yeah, I told you I really like this draft. Very bruisery, very strong. I don't think that there's enough damage on the side of Vic to take care of Aspire's comp. How do you kill this Kinky? You know, is that enough healing? Is everything on the monkey's shoulders? Now there's going to be another unit down. Is going to be a 4v2, taking his sweet time, applying the Death Break on the monkey. If it doesn't proc out of it, he's going to be in big trouble.
I was going to say, if this Fire Monkey King is able to resist any of the defense breaks, is able to stay alive just a little bit longer here, but it already had taken up a defense break, so we'll see what happens, because he is going to be dropping that Veronica 100%. We do have a little bit of sustain when it comes to this Fire Pure Vanilla here, so we'll see what happens, because I think Fire Monkey King, you can't count this unit out just yet.
Agree with you. Very strong unit. Gets a key stun. Now, does he use this Death Break right here on the Leo? Yes, sir. Gets a lot of damage. He can try to go for the kill on the next one. Can the Kinky land the Death Break? That is the big question. Gets the Death Break. Has skill 2 to reduce, but no, he goes for skill 1. Doesn't want to risk it. Remember, there's the vanilla on the other side. Goes for the stun. Doesn't let him procs. This is the kill on the Leo Stoic.
That was really big right there. Able to get that additional turn there, popping off on that Leo. Leo removed from the field. Now, there still is a problem unit, and this is the Kinky. Now, there is the sustain, but he has to get rid of the Water Ryu. Water Ryu more is the only thing that's able to strip the shields to keep back like that amount of sustain and the tankiness that this Kinky does have. Now, Fire Monkey King really needs to see some stuns here, because you don't want to see this unit get defense broken.
Good point, Stoic. The only chance is that taking out the Water Ryu, the more quickly. Can he land the Death Break? Yes, on the second hit. Get the big proc. He can remove it from the field right now. Yes, sir. It's a 2v1, but once again, don't count this monkey out. He needs a Death Break into a proc. You proc, I proc. Oh, but it misses the Death Break. Oh my God.
Yeah, but look how fast this unit's able to get. He got that defense break on top of the Fire Pure Vanilla. You can almost already count this unit out here. The additional turns might actually be what really keeps Spires alive with this Kinky there. If this unit was built on Despair, Fire Monkey King would be actually thriving. But he's able to get these violent procs and keep up with these defense breaks. It's wild.
Yeah, he needs needs a death break right here and gets it. He needs a stun. No stun. The Kinky
man.
showing he's the king of countering. And Spires takes the win 2-0.
Spires played that so well, kept putting Vic in the position to answer the age-old question, how do I deal with the Kinky? It's a very difficult question to answer, and the monkey looked like he was almost the answer, but Spires took it. Wow, he moves on. What a great set of games there, Stoic.
It really was. It was a great set of games. I think Spires is our only 2-0 that we've had in today's tournament. So big congratulations to Spire, my last year's previous prediction as America's Cup champion. But Spires did a great performance here. We got to see the Tian Lang popping off. Tian Lang, Kinky, what an excellent combinations both those units are with skill 1 defense break. Can be so oppressive. And if that Kinky was actually built on Despair, and we see a lot of Kinkys built on Despair, I think even that alone could have been a little bit changer in that second match there, but it being built on Violent was way too impactful.
Yeah, it really was. And Seppi, here's this first game from Spires where he pulled out that sort of aggressive pick with the Han forcing the ban on the Asuma too. What did you think about this round?
Straight up, I just want to tell you, I know not everyone has a Kinky. I don't have one, but Spires taught us how to play against control and AoE damage today. He came in prepared, changed his playstyle a little bit, you know, didn't bring the Gianna, didn't bring the turn 1, and brought in turn 2 units because he knew he would have more comfort. He played this very well, and obviously some details like what Stoic said, maybe if it was a Despair Kinky, wouldn't have worked as well, but that's why he ruined it Violent, because of that death break into the proc to finish units, and Kinky definitely the MVP together with Riley in those 2 matches, you know, soaking up the ban, and on the other one protecting the team against the Oliver, against the Neftis. Very strong showing from Spires.
Totally. Like we said at the start here, right after the match has ended, yeah, Kinky is just one of those monsters where you put your opponent in a position to figure out how to deal with it. And if they can't, then that's it. So I like that he brought it back because he was like, this worked for me. So I'm going to put Vic in the position where he has to figure it out one more time. Now, with that said, I actually really liked Vic's team. I mean, we talked about the Veronica Stoic. He was the first one to bring the Veronica this tournament.
Yep, that's right. And Veronica's supposed to be super oppressive. Lots of resets, all the strips out there. You combo it up with so much attack bar pushback as well, where just that Veronica is just such a key when it comes to these oppressive reset attack bar pushback teams there. It just didn't work. I mean, Spires was ready for it. He had the Tian Lang, he had the Kinky. There's lots of great, powerful tools to bring in there. Not everybody has those kind of LDs to help respond to units like a Veronica. So good on Spires for having what he had and playing how he did as well.
Yeah, and the Veronica managed to get that skill off in the beginning there, Seppi, because I noticed that Spires really did a great job of outlasting the Veronica. You know, it's easy to kind of crumble in the face of an early reset right at the start of the game, but Spires really came back from it.
Yeah, I gotta tell you, Spires showed us how to play against that play style, and I think that the thing that his opponent lacked was adapting to it. When you see a Riley coming early on, a Kinky coming early on, you should go to the Bulwark, you should go to the Wusa, you know, to the Molong, those kind of units, but he stick to his guns, and that's what costed him the game in here. You gotta change a little bit your play style, because if your opponent's ready for you, you gotta be ready for them.
You're so right. Riley is a great answer to things like the Oliver. Everybody in chat, we got our first code of the day. You know, we like to do a couple of these each round of the prelims. This one, legit prelims 2023. I couldn't agree more. After the matches we saw today, I think this is the most legit prelims we've had in quite some time. Get your 100k mana, get your mystical scroll, and rest assured there's going to be another one later in the day. So stay tuned to make sure that you get both of those, because the latter one normally has an SWC2023 emblem in it, and you want to be able to exchange those in that shop that's live in-game right now. So guys, the quarterfinals are concluded. We're moving on to the semis today. Stoic, what do you think about the matches we've had so far, and are you looking forward to the semis?
Yeah, I'm always looking forward to the semis. I mean, DRMZJOSEPH is going to be a big, dangerous unit that we have to deal with. Spires moving forward, and these best of fives as well. So even if anyone ever feels like maybe they got lucky in the best of 3, or maybe the reason why they move forward is because they got lucky, well, in a best of 5, it's going to be a little bit more difficult to call it lucky, because these players are able to prepare so well for each other.
Absolutely. Everyone in chat, make sure to stick with us, because we're going to be going into the semifinals right after this brief break. See you back here in a second.
broken.
everyone, and welcome back to day 2 of the America's Cup prelims. My name is Evan, and with me still, it's Stoic and Seppi. Welcome back, Stoic.
It is good to be back here. I am still trying to cool off from some of those matches that we had because boy did it get exciting.
Yeah, me too, man. We've had a really great day so far, Seppi, and now going into the semis, I couldn't be more stoked.
Yes, my friend, and today a very different day from the previous one in which we had a lot of upsets, a lot of unexpected wins, newcomers. On this one, the favorites, got the best of it on the first one. So now we're going to start to see some more difficult matches, a lot of experienced players facing each other, and it's going to be interesting to see who's going to come out on top.
Yeah, totally. We are seeing some real fire here in the semifinals. It's starting off strong with Joseph versus MADREAMDY. Now, DRMZJOSEPH versus MADREAMDY, Stoic, the two dreams are colliding. Who do you think is going to come out on top for this one?
I mean, the two dreams, they have definitely played each other in the past. We've had a moment where we had an absolute nightmare with both these two players. So definitely going to be pretty crazy to watch both these extremely great competitors, one being a previous America's Cup champion and another being a runner-up in another year in the past. So this is going to be an absolute banger when it comes to both these players here. And no one actually wants to see any of these two go down into a redemption bracket because they're both just so good.
You're so right there, Stoic. They are. They both deserve to go forward, so it's so hard to choose someone. And Seppi, we had a discussion a little while ago talking about how the way that the meta has kind of shifted and presented itself, it's kind of fallen into this place where DRMZJOSEPH is really comfortable in it. It kind of fits his playstyle. Do you mind elaborating on that a little bit?
Yeah, for sure. The meta is going back a little bit to 5 years ago, in which a lot of units are viable. Something that in other metas, maybe 5-10 units were the only ones that were picked, but right now that has stretched up to like 20-30 units, a lot of free-to-play units coming in, and DRMZJOSEPH feels very comfortable because of his experience, because of the rune quality that he's been farming for a really, really long time. And you can see units like Masha that are not in the top 10 anymore being brought by him and still working out and being super effective. The thing is that he's going to be facing one of the users, one of the players with the deepest box in here today that also has a lot of tournament experience. So I agree with Stoic. This is probably the most exciting match of the day, and DRMZJOSEPH right now is going to have to prove if he can overcome the deep box and the experience from a deep.
Yeah, in that aspect, it's kind of like the antithesis for DRMZJOSEPH. MADREAMDY's box has so much depth to it. And here we see a couple of the units that Joseph brought in the first game of today. Earlier in the quarterfinals, Stoic, do you think that DRMZJOSEPH can get away with the same strategies that he used earlier in the day, or do you think he's going to have to change things up for MADREAMDY?
I definitely think MADREAMDY is a very, very interesting and aggressive drafter, and I think this is something that DRMZJOSEPH has to worry about. Now, I know we've seen the Masha perform really, really well for DRMZJOSEPH, and I do think this is something MADREAMDY is watching very closely, and he's aware of the kind of damage and speed that this unit's going to be producing in the match to come here. So I am expecting DRMZJOSEPH to have a little bit more trouble playing up against MADREAMDY, but I am also expecting MADREAMDY to do the same towards DRMZJOSEPH.
And Seppi, MADREAMDY also brought some pretty interesting stuff with him. That was the match where we saw the Doman. Do you think that that's going to come back against him?
Yeah, it is a very strong unit, even against the style that Joseph plays. It also fits it. I'm expecting both of them to kind of go into game one and see what the other person's gonna do, and it would be amazing to see MADREAMDY pre-banning the Masha and taking the comfort away from Joseph, because if you let him have that unit, he's gonna draft the rest of it very well based on his experience. And I would love to see units like a Wusa to respond to it, some protection, making sure that Joseph has to bring Strip to deal with it, or even a Shizuka.
Yes, I think you're absolutely right. Having to bring out something to deal with all this pressure is exactly what needs to be done in this one. Well, Stoic, looking at this match again here, now that we've discussed everything, are you still favoring MADREAMDY? Do you think DRMZJOSEPH can pull it out?
Man, it's a tough one, man. I think this goes either way, to be honest with you. I'd love to give credit towards, MADREAMDY. I'd love to give credit towards DRMZJOSEPH, but I think this is one that can't be decided right here, or even based off in draft. I think this one may actually be decided just by pure RNG.
Oh man, quite the statement, Seppi. Do you agree with that, or do you have someone in mind who you think is going to pull ahead?
In parts, I agree with him that it's difficult to call it right now on the spot. Both players are very strong, very experienced. It's strong boxes, but I do think that draft will be the defining factor in here. And the reason is because in a 5-game series, like you talked about, Stoic, later on, the RNG becomes a smaller factor, right? And the psychological pressure, you know, the strength of the wins and the big hits of the losses become something very important. So I think that the player that gets a win on the first match, and if it manages to secure a second one right away, that can be a very, very defining factor for whoever's going to take this home. And yeah, let's see what the drafts look like. I'm very excited to see players adapting, bringing in some new surprising units. This has been an amazing day so far.
Oh, yeah. And Seppi, like we said, too, DRMZJOSEPH is really good at getting a lot of mileage out of his box. You know, we saw him first picking the Vanessa earlier to make sure that he locks down the 33% speed lead. We see the Masha. We see everything. And everyone in chat right now watching at home, we are about to see whether or not these dreams are going to be a sweet night or a nightmare. Guys, take it away.
Well, let's find out as we get in this nightmare together between DRMZJOSEPH and MADREAMDY. Pre-ban coming out right here. Definitely expecting to see some LD Nat 5s potentially hit this, or even a Masha. And you know what? There's that Masha, and there's an LD Nat 5. The Dakoni Musha getting pre-banned.
Okay, once again, Stoic, both of these guys know each other very well. Great pre-bans. I expect DRMZJOSEPH to take away that Oliver. Let's see if he does it right away, or if he goes into the comfort zone of more, and then if Oliver gets stolen, he goes back to Vanessa as a secondary speed lead. He's thinking about it, you know, taking his sweet time. Will he lock down the more or go back to the Oliver?
Yeah, it's interesting to see the more here. I think the more is probably the better take for DRMZJOSEPH to take here. MADREAMDY, I do think, locks down a more, and I think that is what's going to be happening here, locking in that 33 speed lead. I think he definitely wants to lay down something to contest, and it is going to be Oliver hitting the field with a Praha, and I think the Praha is a little interesting.
Yeah, it's a great monster. Brings in speed buffs, sustain, strip, additional damage. You know who's probably smiling at home right now? Faraz. Faraz loves that Praha. And DRMZJOSEPH does the beautiful rainbow. 1 water, 1 wind, 1 fire. And Carnal is back from yesterday. In response, quick Raccoony, bringing sustain. Great against the Etna as well, so you don't give full attack bar. What would you like to see now as a 4th unit for MADREAMDY?
I think MADREAMDY does that Triforce, man, locks in that Miles, but it looks like Dumon is going to be the unit he's going to lock in here. We know how dangerous this unit can be, but there is a lot of control already for DRMZJOSEPH. 2 units that can help keep units back, like Dumon, so that it's not able to be as oppressive and get that Maka Death out there. But DRMZJOSEPH, 2 more picks here to respond to the MADREAMDY draft.
Ooh, I love the pick on the Chiwu. Another speed lead, another starter, and then closing it out with a Sagar. Now this forces my... Oh! The Robo as well does a similar, you know, job. The thing is that now puts MADREAMDY, gives him the option to force a ban with a fire pick on the last pick. You know, there's a lot of options. The Douglas, the Vertihill, the Fire Monkey King, Meiho Wang. Let's see if he does that, or if he brings a secondary speed lead to fight for that turn 1.
Yeah, and keep in mind, this Wind Robo is ruined very, very quickly. It's the unit that caught RHYS off guard here because it was so fast. MADREAMDY, one last pick here, is going to be rapid at this draft with the Juno. I think the Juno is fine. I don't think there's any problem here with the Juno. Probably signaling potential drafts going out on the more, but maybe even a ban going out on top. Oh, the Ethna. I was about to say the Ethna. Ethna gets banned out there.
You know what? I like the bans, but I would have loved an Oliver ban. I think the Oliver can become a problem with a couple of procs here. Let's see if the turn 1 goes to DRMZJOSEPH as expected. Yes, sir, but very fast units on the other side. Gets the full attack bar and the strip. And now he goes for the stuns. 1, 2, misses the second one. Now he needs to pray for attack bar reduction from this Chiwu. Gets only 1, 2 glancings. No stuns from the Mort, and everything's on Carnal's hands. AoE, big stun, damage on the Raccoony, can reduce the Raccoony. Oh my god, that is so much damage with the Raccoony. Looks like it's gonna get a turn, Stoic.
He's got to pump that Raccoony. That's got to be the unit he focuses on. Drops it right there. DRMZJOSEPH in full control over MADREAMDY. We saw so much additional damage come out there from every single unit that hit on this field. Even this Chiwu is even producing some damage here. Oliver He's got some. Oliver needs to have his own dream right now and get all the attack bar, all the pushbacks, absolutely everything. MADREAMDY needs to see violent procs. MADREAMDY needs to see the works to stay in this match right here.
Yeah, he needs a proc from this Praha, and she gets it with the heal. He is the famous caster's curse, my friend. Goes for the school time, another proc from Praha, and just like that, MADREAMDY is back in the game. Oliver lifting him all the way up, but there's one thing I like. Rakuni was definitely the good kill. He should have taken that kill, and he did it. Now the question is, can you survive the dark on Miuji? Dumon, very dangerous monster, misses the karma, but gets the curse of death.
Yeah, Curse of Death out there definitely needed to happen. I think the karma would have been even better, not have to worry about everything Cardinal's going to be doing out here. So we need to see some action from this Water Ryu to help keep back MADREAMDY, because MADREAMDY, I would say, is actually sitting pretty comfortable right now due to that Violent proc there. Because once this Cardinal does drop, that's some big threat from DRMZJOSEPH, and MADREAMDY kind of gets himself right back into the mix of things.
I agree with you. The Praha is a big problem right now, and the Oliver, without anything on the other side to control him, also a big problem. This provoke was key, but the Cardinal doesn't get it. Now Praha will get enough attack bar to lap, and she can even, oh, the reduction comes in. He needs a sleep right now. It would be incredible. Tries to go for the kill, doesn't care about the sleep on the Praha. I think it's a little bit dangerous because the Praha right now can just finish up the job and bring up everyone's HP because she has the heal. She does have it.
That's right, it's so perfect. That heal's right there to save MADREAMDY's team once again, but you could definitely tell DRMZJOSEPH desperately trying to drop that Oliver. That has been the unit of focus for a while now, and he needs to get rid of that unit. Kama being super oppressive right now. There's that Death Seal landing once again on top of more this time, and just Oliver's got to be here pushing back all the attack bar in the world. MADREAMDY looking very comfortable right now.
Yeah, like you called it, Stoic. This is such a close match. Two great drafters. I like both of the drafts, but that little proc from Praha, bringing back everyone up, putting the speed buffs, healing the team, might have defined the match.
Now, I think what defines the match is exactly what I was kind of saying in the first place was RNG is going to be deciding it. Does MADREAMDY get the violent procs that he needed? Yes. Able to heal up his team and keep him back. Does DRMZJOSEPH get everything that he needed to keep back this Oliver? No, that's not what happened here. And I think MADREAMDY's definitely going to be coming out on top. That curse is going to go off, and we're going to have a dead Moore, and it's just going to be a lonely Chimu, who then again will be seeing this Death Seal, whether he likes it or not, from Dumon.
Can he try to bring down the Oliver? At least a lot of damage from the Chiwu, but not enough to get the Oliver down. He gets the proc on top of it, and RNG says, I am on MADREAMDY's side for this match. And smaller details, another Curse of Death coming out from the Dumon, gets the karma, the cut in. Can he get a little sleep, or does she just guarantees the kill? Tries to go for a desperation sleep on the Praha, but it's not enough. The Praha will take down this Moore, or doesn't even need it because the Curse of Death takes it down. And now Joseph is starting to just plan, think about the next match. What can I do better? How to control these units? Do I need more stuns? Game one goes to MADREAMDY.
Yep, remember, this is a game to 5, guys, so does have a little bit of time in here, so it's not that bad that DRMZJOSEPH does lose a match here, but it is great to get that first victory from MADREAMDY, so big congrats to him. It's definitely like a bit of you can wipe the sweat from his brow now going up against DRMZJOSEPH, but DRMZJOSEPH does need to take a match here to definitely keep himself still in this, and he can still feel a little bit comfortable going up against such a strong opponent.
Yeah, Stoic, very good point. And one good news for DRMZJOSEPH is the Masha cannot be pre-banned again. So he's gonna have, you know, his dear loved unit very well ruined back in this match. And now maybe he can use that in his advantage to take a game back from MADREAMDY.
Yeah, Dumon not able to bag in here as we get into match number 2 between DRMZJOSEPH and MADREAMDY, and that Wind Robo is going to get the ban. MADREAMDY respecting the speed of this Wind unit.
Yeah, I really like that. He knows that it can threaten the speed for Joseph, is super quick, and now Joseph will probably bring in the Masha and someone else. Yes, it is the Moore. Speed lead, water unit, also very strong against the Masha, so he doesn't want to leave it for MADREAMDY. That shows the Praha that was the key unit on the last match.
Yeah, and then with that Pra coming back with the Rakuni as well, we know this Rakuni is pretty terrified of Masha here. So I do think Masha, once again, might be looking at one of those banned targets. If DRMZJOSEPH plays this out feeling like his Masha is going to get the ban, we're going to see a pretty aggressive draft coming out of DRMZJOSEPH outside from here on. And that Cardinal, I think, does qualify as a very aggressive unit.
Yeah, I really like the Cardinal. Is a great response to the Oliver. Has a lot of damage. The Pra is really strong against it, though. So there's a lot of things. Once again, the Etna got banned last match. Threatens, kills turn 1, so he doesn't want to deal with it. Let's see if MADREAMDY closes out with Juno again. Not as strong in here because of the Masha, or he brings Water Unit and then another speed lead. Brings in the Miles. Great. And the Juno. So as expected. What would you like to see as a last pick for Dreams right here?
I'm not too sure, but MADREAMDY does have the Triforce locked in with the Oliver Miles and Rakuni. This last pick from DRMZJOSEPH has got to be a big threat piece. Any way to get that Masha through, I think is going to help DRMZJOSEPH. Now, I do really, really like Miles because, I mean, the Miles is going to hit the floor no matter what, but the Miles is going to be here where it says, hey, if your Masha does go through, I'm not too worried about this last pick. He could potentially just be banning out whatever this great fifth pick is from DRMZJOSEPH. Oh, man, I don't think the Fire Monk King or the Tessarian is going to be enough. I'm not a big fan of it. I know there's no cleansers minus, of course, Rakuni, unless Rakuni gets Oblivion here.
Yeah.
We could just be seeing a ban straight up on the Tessarian, and we don't even have to worry about it. But we'll see.
I don't know. Yeah, I think he's calling a ban on the Miles, which I would really like because the Miles is the biggest threat against this double fire core that he picked for his team. So the Tessarian might be a bait, but if the Miles gets banned, no, it is the Pra. So the other water unit, interesting. He removes one of the sustains so he can try to kill someone, but the thing is, there's 33% on the side of MADREAMDY, so MADREAMDY is probably taking turn 1 and not Joseph.
Yeah, 100%. That's a very, very fast Miles. We know this unit to be extremely fast, but I mean, we've got the full Triforce on the side of MADREAMDY. Is this going to be enough, or does DRMZJOSEPH have what it takes to take down that Triforce?
The stun from Juno really salt in the wound right here. The Oliver will have a field day with no immunity, so he can reset, steal attack bars. Let's see, what does he go for? Does he go for the safe choice on the Etna? Yes, sir. That's what he does. Nice proc from the Masha. Can she try to go for the Juno? Interesting choice. Tries to go for the reset. Can he remove it? He goes full damage on it. Yes, sir, because the Tessa with a proc or with a lot of damage can try to kill right here. Goes for the big hit. No proc from the Tessa, and the Rakuni. He has to go for the Masha, actually, because the Masha moves ahead of the Rakuni. Doesn't go for it.
Wow.
Oh, it does. The Rakuni goes ahead.
Beautiful Despair Stun as well, going out on top of this Connell, which is really nice from that Juno. Great revenge. Of course, Rakuni's going to be there to help keep this Juno alive, and Masha is going to be doing all he can. I think DRMZJOSEPH's going to do all he can to get rid of this Juno first.
Yeah, I think it was a very, very risky choice going for the Juno with everything in her. The Oblivion. I would have loved to see an Oblivion on the Rakuni. A little bit too aggressive, and now the Masha still has one more turn to go before getting the Death Break, and the Tessarian does have, an opening right here after the whole team moves on the other side.
Wow, what an additional turn there. Oh, it's not enough to kill the Kynal. I thought the Rakuni was going to be finishing off the Kynal, and a beautiful stun from Miles going out onto the Masha. I do think that's what should happen. Oh, wow. I did not actually think we were going to get a concede right there from DRMZJOSEPH, but MADREAMDY taking round number 2.
Yeah, neither did I. I still go back to the picking, man, as a decider on this game 2, different from the game 1. The Miles is too strong with Oliver and Rakuni. You gotta break that combo. You talked about it, the Triforce, the Holy Trinity, if you will. So I would like for DRMZJOSEPH to deny that, especially with such a strong fire core.
It really is. That Triforce is just too good when you have those units out there. No piece of it is going to get banned going into here. It's crazy that DRMZJOSEPH still seeing so much threat for this Dakoni Musha. Pre-banning it here. Masha gets pre-banned again. This is one of DRMZJOSEPH's best units that he's brought to the table so far in today's tournament, and it is going to be pre-banned, and I think DRMZJOSEPH needs to make some serious moves now. This is a desperation match for DRMZJOSEPH. Whatever he has in store, whatever his biggest trick up his sleeve needs to happen right now.
Game point for MADREAMDY. If he wins this one, he's on to America's Cup. So DRMZJOSEPH backs against the wall. The Etna comes out. The Cardinal, 1 unit from each element. I really like that, but maybe we'll see the miles here already. The only advantage is that DRMZJOSEPH now has 2 picks and can react with a Chiwu and maybe the Sagar or someone like that. So MADREAMDY predicting that goes with the Juno. So a little bit tankier, doesn't bring the miles right away. Interesting choice.
Yep, doesn't bring it. I think if I was DRMZJOSEPH, I would just take that miles right now. I mean, he's got 2 fire units out there. Of course, even the Ethna. Camilla, resorting back to the Camilla, but the miles handles the Camilla so well. It's like MADREAMDY has to draft the miles, to be honest.
Wait. I was going to say DRMZJOSEPH does not have a miles. That's the only problem. That's why he's not picking it. He should have pre-banned it as well.
Everything.
Yeah. He doesn't own one.
Wow, what a disadvantage. I mean, this is one of those results where it's like when you're missing something, when you were, players like Faras or players like RHYS not having specific units in this tournament, you can clearly see like why other players get to thrive so much not having these. I don't even think he needs the Dumont. I would have locked in that Miles. Still, the Miles is going to be handling that Camilla so well, but the Dumont is something to worry about because there's not a lot of attack bar manipulation here. We do have the Moore. We do have the Connell here to help keep back that Dumont, but Dumont's coming back into this match. I do think it's going to be another problem unit, but I do think Miles was a safer pick.
Yeah, I agree with you. I would prefer Miles in here, but that gives an option for DRMZJOSEPH. He's probably going to ban one of the sustain units because he's very worried. No, he takes out the Dumont. Interesting. I think MADREAMDY has a very strong comp with Praha and Rakuni. He will need to land a lot with this Etna, and it is a little bit squishy, to be honest, Stoic. Let's see what she can do on turn 1.
Oh, that's a beautiful stun right there going out on top of the Praha. So DRMZJOSEPH really needed an opportunity like that with these turn 1 units coming in and getting a big successful stun. But right away, Juno able to get I love to call it a desperation move with skill 2, getting stuns on top of Moore and that Connell as well. I mean, we're not looking like there's any immunity up there, and Oliver's about to have his way with DRMZJOSEPH, and that's something that you really have to worry about. Oliver was not respected. Oliver's going to take advantage of you.
Yeah, Oliver, very strong unit. The Pra, even though stunned, the Rakuni coming out. That's why I said I expected the ban on one of the sustain units, but he let through 2 of them, so the Rakuni could just give the turn back to the Praha and, put the sleeps up. Little by little goes taking out this Cardinal. Very, very low. And the thing is, Etna's reset, Camilla's reset, and the Etna's pretty squishy. So if he manages to remove the Cardinal, it might be like a very big step into going to America's Cup.
Yeah, 100% here. And I think this match here was definitely decided in the draft. MADREAMDY just brought a very, very tough draft to deal with. It's that Rakuni, it's that Oliver, even the Pra and the Juno. These are excellent units, able to cycle so much attack power with just that first skill alone, and always with additional damage, looking like damage dealers out there. These 2 units provide so much utility for the team, and they're still looking like damage dealers with those first skills. It's just way too oppressive.
Yeah, I don't know if I love the Etna into this very tanky comp. It's also a squishier unit. Right now, the Rakuni and the Pra bring so much to the table. It's very difficult to remove someone, and even with the speed lead, the damage, this Pra, it's going to get back up. He can just give himself another turn, cleanse. Luckily, it still has the stun in there, so he has a little bit of an opening, but the Juno, once again, with another clutch stun.
Yeah, just the Oliver alone right now is going to be way too oppressive for DRMZJOSEPH. He's getting some despair stuns. That was really nice for that to pop out on top of the Praha here. We do have a nice stun there. You can also get resets from the first skill coming from the Camilla, but it really isn't just going to be enough. Rakuni's able to keep up the sustain. There's just not enough damage that's going to come to the table there with just these 2 units that DRMZJOSEPH has. Rakuni's bringing too much sustain to the table, able to push up so much attack bar on his team and prepare himself for whatever DRMZJOSEPH has in store for him.
Yeah, whenever you see an Oliver versus 2 water units, it's a lockdown. It doesn't matter if it's a chow or anything like that. The Oliver can just keep taking your attack bars away, resetting your cooldowns, and you're probably not going to take a turn again.
Yep, there it is. Just more damage going towards this Moore. This match very much really is over, so it's tough to see these. You get a 3-0 with MADREAMDY going up against DRMZJOSEPH. It's a tough one. Like I said, it was decided in draft for sure.
Yeah, we got to give it to MADREAMDY. Very complex drafts to deal with. I think DRMZJOSEPH kind of had a little bit of a disconnect in the way he was planning his team. The Camilla doesn't really fit the turn one, comp that can control the opponent. If you get stunned by the Juno, you're disrupted, and then the Camilla is just standing there and doesn't do a lot. A Chungpung, another unit that could connect to the Cardinal, would have been way better and still having a chance, so the Rakuni can keep saving the team and the Oliver can keep resetting you.
Yeah, exactly, and so this is where just Oliver is so good. Even Camilla, with much time passing as HP goes down, attack power goes up. You were hoping to see absolutely anything there, but there you have it. MADREAMDY in the draft, taking round number 3 away from DRMZJOSEPH.
Really showing how strong he is in the pick ban there, Seppi, like you called out earlier. MADREAMDY did a really good job of addressing what DRMZJOSEPH was bringing and taking advantage of really powerful units. And I love seeing him display the power of having 2 Oracles on your team, too. And not to mention the Holy Trinity.
Yeah, very strong draft on his side. I loved how he used the pre-bans to get comfortable, right? DRMZJOSEPH saw Dumon, and kind of on the other one, he chose to pre-ban Gyuki, which I agree with Stoic. Maybe it felt a little bit rushed because we haven't seen MADREAMDY bring it on even when it wasn't pre-banned. So maybe he could have swapped and pre-banned the Oliver or pre-banned another unit that he thought it was very difficult to deal with in this specific matchup.
Totally. And so, Stoic, you were the first to call out the Triforce there, which is Oliver, Miles, Rakuni. I wanted to shout out one other monster that I think could vie for that MVP slot, which is the Praha. We saw Praha have a pretty definitive take on making that win in the round 1, and then came in round 3 to add that control to the comp too. What did you think of her?
You know, Pra's not something you see too often on the ladder. I think Pra is coming across as one of those great tournament monsters where you see a lot of its use here. It's just a very strong unit. Great first skill, cycling up more attack bar, offering a beneficial effect removal with second skill, and of course the healing with third skill, which also acts as CC. So in moments of there's no immunity up, you'll even see them use that third skill, helping to keep players back there, putting everybody to sleep, and not necessarily using it as a heal. So Pra, just such a strong unit. And I would agree that it is comboed up really well with a Rakuni and a Oliver.
Yeah, you're 100% right, Stoic. We saw her here being a damage dealer half with her sister Juno, and then we also saw her use it as crowd control when you didn't necessarily need the heal, but also we saw MADREAMDY understand when to hold it back because you know the damage is coming. That actually came into play later, but she does pair so well with that Rakuni, who can just cleanse her up, Stoic.
Yep, that's right. I mean, that's exactly what was happening there in that same combination. Maybe the foundation of it all is just the Rakuni. The Rakuni's just too good right now. It's this 3-star unit showcasing throughout all of the regions. It's such a problem unit to use. It just pairs so well up with that Oliver, that Miles, and almost anything after that.
Yeah, totally. Now, Seppi, what did you think DRMZJOSEPH needed to do a little bit differently to put up a better fight up against MADREAMDY in that one?
Yeah, I would have loved to see in a couple of matches. The first one, I think it was a very close match. You know, anyone could have taken it. But after that, he could have adapted and gone in one direction. He kind of split his efforts in 2 different ways. You know, bringing a turn 1 comp and then bringing in a Camilla, some monsters that didn't connect in case you get cut. And maybe the unsung hero as well was on MADREAMDY's side, the Juno. In 2 matches in a row, the Juno that was on despair, by the way, cut in the middle of DRMZJOSEPH comp, stripped, and got a couple stuns, and those stuns were so valuable, and Joseph was not ready for that. That was the biggest thing. He didn't have another unit in case someone got stunned, you know, that could disrupt, or like a Rakuni that could cleanse and give the turn back, and that was the difference maker for MADREAMDY. Once the Pra got stunned turn 1 by the Etna, he said, I'm not even worried. You got to stun my 100% res Rakuni because he's just going to bring her up, give her a turn, he's going to heal everyone, control your team. So that kind of, you know, thinking 6-7 moves ahead was really strong on MADREAMDY's side. Still, 2 amazing players, and I expect DRMZJOSEPH to do very well in the redemption bracket. We got a lot of strong players down there.
Yes, totally. And I know that you're a big believer in Dreams Joseph, so we're going to see him work his magic down there. Now, looking ahead, everybody, we've still got ZEFA and SPIRES today. This next match in the semifinals is going to decide the next person who's got the guaranteed lock on going to the America's Cup proper on September 16th. So ZEFA versus SPIRES, guys. So Stoic, we saw both of these players play now. We know that SPIRES brought the kinky, put some interesting decision points into his opponent's head there. What do you think ZEFA is going to bring to the table for this one?
I mean, I'm kind of expecting to see more Gianna play coming out of ZEFA. I mean, there's a lot that we could take in from his previous matches and see if he's going to apply that same play style as we get into this match right here. I want to say Zabala is going to have a showing in this one. I don't think Zabala is going to get the pre-ban like we had seen it before in the previous matches. I don't think that's one of the units that SPIRES is going to be worrying about. I could be wrong as well, though, but I do think Zepha's still looking for that turn one. We're going to see that Oliver. I think Oliver's going to be a highly contested unit for both these players here, but I do see SPIRES responding with that kinky style play again.
Oh, yeah. And now, here's the thing. So, Seppi, based on what we've seen from these players so far, what SPIRES brought in his quarterfinals match, and what ZEFA just kind of likes to play, what he leans towards with the Gianna, the control and everything, do you think that SPIRES may actually have to change it up? Because it feels to me that the Gianna and some of the Zabala and all these control options are actually really good answers to what SPIRES was bringing earlier today.
Yeah, I got to tell you something. I'm very excited about this specific matchup because from the whole day, these two are the guys that, for me, have brought up the most versatility in draft, right? Generally, we see SPIRES in the ladder playing, you know, very turn one, Gianna, reset, control you. But today, he saw a player that had very fast runes, had a Veronica, had an Oliver, and he said, you know what? I'm going to take a seat. I'm going to play turn two, and I'm going to beat you in that because I know what is annoying to play that way. ZEFA, in the same way, adapted very well, bringing surprise units like, you know, the Light Ezio and stuff like that. The Masha came out, the threat states. So I'm expecting a lot of surprising picks from these two players, and God, I hope they prove me right and give us a big showing. So I have no idea who's going to win this. I'm just excited.
Oh, man, I would love more content picks in the semifinals right now. That'd be so awesome to see. It's going to be so cool. Guys, here we go. ZEFA versus SPIRES. Queuing up right now the last match of today, the last slot for the America's Cup. Stoic and Seppi, take it away.
Let's see some absolute fireworks here. ZEFA versus SPIRES. The pre-ban, I do believe, will say a lot here. It says a lot of something. Bella and Nikki getting banned out. This is a little strange in my opinion, to be honest.
Can I tell you what this looks like, Stoic? This looks like everything goes, my friend. They want to give us a show. Whatever you guys pick, bring out your best, showing off the LDs. SPIRES and ZEFA are ready to give us a showing, and SPIRES says, I will take the Gianna, my friend, because I know you have a Gianna as well. I have a Panda too. Let's see how many LDs, all these LDs will show up today.
Oh man, if we just see a ton of LD monsters coming out in this draft, that'd be absolute wild. I think ZEFA was flashing that Dark Panda because he knows that Tian Lang is probably going to be coming to the table here. A Vanessa? Not too surprised at the Vanessa. I am a little surprised to see an early Josephine pick.
I kind of like it into these very tanky comps that SPIRES has been playing. She's a very interesting unit. That stun is super reliable against the kinky. Let's see if he brings in a little bit more sustain, because so far we haven't seen a lot of healing, and playing into kinky Riley can be very dangerous, or maybe even Rakuni, beautiful, a Bulwark, something like that. So the healing comes on a little bit happier. And what would you like to see from SPIRES side right now? Fully go into the Bruiser route or bring in something else?
I mean, so the Tian Lang definitely says he's going to be letting that Rakuni through here. It's going to disrupt the Rakuni's second skill. So I do think ZEFA's kind of in a position to already banning out that Tian Lang, because that is going to be a problem to actually see a Rakuni go online. But I will say I'm not a big fan of that early Riley pick anymore, just because it's all single target for ZEFA right now. He doesn't have to touch the Riley, where Riley gets to exploit those totems because you have no choice to hit it when using AoE units. So I want to say we potentially don't see the Riley Riley for second round pick coming out of Spires. It was a little early in my opinion. Oh my God, Light Ezio hitting the field once again. What does he think he's going to be able to snipe from Spires? He wasn't able to snipe a unit from the previous match ZEFA played. Is this going to be enough this time?
Hey, my friend, it's 29k damage, and you know what?
Okay.
Spires bans it. I love the bans on both sides. I think both drafts are very, very strong, but what we want to see is, does Spires have enough sustain? Does he sustain the damage that's gonna come out? Because he has Riley, he has Kinky. The Gianna doesn't have a lot of counters, only the Josephine. Who would you target right here? Is it the Vanessa that needs to go first?
Yeah, I think he's in a position where he can get rid of the Vanessa first. Vanessa with a beautiful violent proc, though. I don't know if it got that. Did not get that reset onto the Tian Lang. I do think ZEFA, I think, is at a little bit of a disadvantage right now.
I agree with you. Does he try to get the stun? No, he goes for the death break. I really like that play. Now he can try to get a lot of damage into this Panda. Oh my God. Can this Josephine just skill one auto crit in his face, or does he go for the provoke? Goes for the provoke on the Gianna, loses her turn, and now he forces the cleanse. The cleanse comes out, both units are up, and this Vanessa will take some punishment.
Now, this is also a violent Kinky, so again, the Josephine feeling a little early because the only thing that's going to be stunning on this field is going to be the skill 2 coming out of the Tian Lang, which technically doesn't even have to use here because getting that defense break with first skill is going to be enough value for his team, but he's using the second skill anyways, which I'm not going to tell him it's not a bad idea. It's definitely a lot of damage coming to the field with the second skill as well.
Yeah, I think he likes it too, to get it out of the way so the Gianna can use her third skill and get the stuns. But will he get a chance? Because the Josephine has been consistently stunning her. I would have loved to see the immunity there so the Josephine can't stun the Gianna once again. But interestingly enough, he lets it through. Let's see if the Josephine finally finishes to control this Gianna once again and doesn't let her put a bomb. Yes, for the third time, a big stun. Now, can he get rid of this very tanky Panda?
And I do believe this is a swift Gianna. I don't think Spires runs the violent Gianna here. I think we're going to see a lot of attention still going towards this Vanessa. Even though the Raccooni's on this field here, the attention's definitely going to go towards Vanessa.
Yeah, you need to do that. Even with the Tian Lang on the field, you need to risk it so you can cleanse this Vanessa and she doesn't die. He needs to provoke the Kinky this time, but the death break comes in. Very, very dangerous. He had to do a big proc right now from the Cadiz. He gets the chance to protect this Vanessa. If this Kinky procs, he can kill. No proc gets counter to the stun.
Wow, Josephine is becoming very much a problem right now for Spires, but we do have that cleanse coming out here. The attack buffs are coming up. We finally are going to get a Bob onto the field here. Obviously, this has to go on a healthy target, probably on that Cadiz, because right now, Raccoon has that ability to heal stuff up. He's going to try and pump that Vanessa down, but if he had killed the Vanessa here, we're just going to see a cleanse going out onto the Josephine anyways.
I agree with you. That was a little bit, you know, it's a little bit risky, but the Vanessa gets a big proc. Can she kill the, yes, it kills the Tian Lang and lands the death break. You called it, my friend. Now the Vanessa gets healed up. Can he try to remove units from the field with that attack buff? And wow, that is a lot of damage from a Kinky.
That really was a lot of damage right there, but losing that Tian Lang's kind of big right now. Josephine is becoming very chaotic for Spires. I think he's going to be losing that Gianna very shortly unless he starts getting some additional turns popping out of this Riley to keep his team alive here. But I do think the Cadiz might be enough to keep everybody back here. Those are the additional turns that Spires really does need to see, though. The defense breaks need to land because he's got all of his damage relying on that Kinky alone.
I agree with you. The Josephine looked like an early pick, but has been the MVP. Right now, I just don't like that he attacked. He risked it into the Kinky.
Oh, man.
The life of her. It costed that life. Now it's going to be a 2v2. And how do you kill the Kinky without the Josephine? It's going to be an uphill battle.
He was thinking about it for so long. I'm like, you and her attack buff? Riley just hit the Josephine, and he ended up doing it, ended up finishing off that unit. Now, I do think Kinky and Riley have this under wraps right now. These defense breaks are going to be a lot. The damage is going to be a lot. There's a lot of sustain coming out here for Spires. And I mean, there is that second skill, which is going to do a lot of damage. Able to get these brain effects, he's going to capitalize off it a lot. And ZEFA is free to keep pumping up his units with the Raccoon. There's no T and Lang to go ahead and take advantage of what Raccoon is supposed to do. So Raccoon is a weapon. Both players are still in this match.
Yeah, I love what he's doing, though. The Cadiz is hitting harder than expected, and because of the Raccoon, he can try to keep this unit alive. The problem is he gets, yes, the attack buff. Can he kill with the death break?
Oh, so much damage with that second skill, man. Wow, Spires taking round one away from ZEFA.
And you know what, Stoic? We're getting the show we asked for. 2 players with a lot of different picks, fun comps, and the Josephine was very, very strong until she left the field. If she managed to stay a little bit longer, she could have stunned and controlled this Kinky. What would you like, or sorry, not what would you like, what do you hate to see when you're playing Kinky? What are the units that you're the most afraid when you're playing in RTA using the incredible unit Kinky?
So obviously a lot of single target stuff is the most terrifying things for me to see there. Like usually it's those Mo-Long comps, those snipe comps, but clearly that's what ZEFA was trying to bring to the table when we saw that light Ezio hit the field and Spires said no to that. And I mean, I still sit here and I'm like, you know, even if it went through, would it have mattered that much? I don't know. I am just not, I'm not on board with the light Ezio just yet, okay? It was really cool. I am not 100% on board. I want ZEFA to prove me wrong.
Yeah, I want to see it again as well. I think it's an interesting unit. We're going to see a little bit of a change in pace from Spires. Look at this. The Moore and the Shizuka. We don't have Gianna options on the field. Spires still has the Tianlang in the back pocket. Let's see if ZEFA brings the turn 1 comp, yes, with the Chung and the Zabala. I really like this pivot because now he has reset, he has starting potential, and Spires needs to respond.
Yep, I do like the draft with ZEFA. I think this is a little bit more in his realm right now. He's getting his first turn. He's got the Zabal, the Changpong, really strong draft here. Spires, oh man, Masha's been a powerhouse. If he drops that, he's still not wrong, but he's going back to something that he's a little bit more used to. Does lock in the Masha. I think Masha's the right pick.
Yeah, I agree with you. I really like Masha into this. There's not a lot of ways of killing her quickly, dropping her off the chair. The Haygag interesting, and we see our first new unit hit the field. This is crazy.
That's right. Blue Pajamas. He's got a crazy name that I'm not even going to try and to pronounce here. But this is going to provide a lot of like provokes, some great damage here. It's going to deal more damage as it gets more of these like crazy stacks that he's able to get. It's a very, very cool looking unit. No way.
It's a defense-based unit, right? So probably pretty tanky.
I believe it is going to be built pretty tanky here, but I'm expecting ZEFA to have his built so well, it's going to look like this insane damage dealer as well. I think that Kinky is probably the right way to go for Spires, and Spires wants absolutely nothing to do with ZEFA's Blue Pajamas. Speed lead coming up for ZEFA, HP lead for Spires, guys. We've got round number 2 right here.
If I'm not mistaken, it is Parjanya. If you guys can correct me in chat, turn 1 goes for Zabala. Does he risk it, or does he just go for the, yes, gives the turn to the Hagang, tries to get the strip up, misses it on the Shizuka. This is huge because now the Changpong can't reset. Even though he goes, doesn't get the strip, he can try to go for the strip with the Vanessa, once again misses it, so he's probably gonna go for skill number 3 right here. No risking it out. He doesn't need to throw the skill 2 because he's just gonna give an advantage to his opponent.
Yeah, definitely needed to go for that. He really needed to land that strip on top of the Shizuka to help keep this unit back here because all skills are available. All the stuns are going out there. Ooh, the additional turns from Shizuka are so dangerous. Able to get the cooldowns lower on that 3rd skill. You can see the damage is going to start coming in. Right now, Spires wants to get rid of this Vanessa as soon as possible. Oh, my lord.
Oof. The Masha with her best showing once again right here, removing 1 unit from the field. The Vanessa's done. Now it's kind of very difficult because there is control, but he needs to hit strips he needs to hit. Oh my God, the stun from the Tian Lang, and little by little, this match is looking more difficult for ZEFA. Spires and the driver's seat, and the Kinky hasn't even need to do a lot. Just land death breaks for the Masha to send people to the grave.
That's so crazy. Spires with an excellent draft here, but had a lot of things going for him right now. We're talking about everything that he was able to do out there, keeping the immunity up on his Shizuka, resisting the strips there, and producing so many stuns and so much volatility with his draft right there. Spires with a big round 2 victory, statement match right there.
Very adaptable, Stoic. He's been changing his draft in all of these matches. Everything has been a little bit different. Now he, stayed away from the Riley, but still brought the Kinky, but then brought the Shizuka together with the Moore in the beginning of the draft. So he's playing a lot of mind games, very procedural, and now bans on the Nikki and bans on the Gianna. Let's see if Spires, for the 3rd time in a row, changes his draft.
Yeah, the pre-ban on the Nikki, it's like, what does Spires know about ZEFA that he's trying to bring in these drafts with this Nikki pre-ban? Obviously, the Gianna totally makes sense. Both players having Gianna, so he doesn't want Spires to take that away from him, so he bans it himself. I think Spires is down the right road right now, taking an Oliver first pick.
I really like that. He's been so unpredictable, swapping drafts, but now he goes back to the Moore. You know what? I loved the Oliver first pick, but now he lets it open for ZEFA. Maybe ZEFA will go with that and Zabala, or steals the Shizuka that was key. Very, very key last match with 100% res.
Yeah, I almost think Spires goes down the route of just bringing the Triforce in for this match here. Man, is the Juno a little early in my opinion? I feel like the Juno might be a little early. I do like the Masha in this match here.
I agree with you. Double fire, a little bit dangerous early on. Wadaratio coming back. We know it's a very fast unit. And Shiho making the appearance. The devs' favorite monster keeps getting buffed. Now it not only strips, it stuns on that skill 3. Let's see if Aspires responds with 2 wind units to force a ban.
I think what's happening right now with ZEFA, I think ZEFA's doing an all or nothing draft. I think he's looking to go in and do something very quick. And yeah, I know. He's really trying to come in and just do a ton of damage, but that's not what this meeting is honestly saying to me. Kinky Tian Lang, just some safe pick. Spires locking in.
I like his draft. I think it's strong right now. I would just ban this Tian Lang. I would not want to deal with Tian Lang here and getting the triple strip on Spires' side. And if Spires interestingly bans the Shiho, I would have loved a Shizuka ban because it's the main source of keeping this team alive. Now there's going to be interesting gameplay. Can the Panda win? Is it the Dark Panda or the Light Panda that's going to take this match, Stoic?
Well, that Light Panda's got a Kinky with it as well in this round. Number 3 with Spires and ZEFA. Can Spires get a full 3-0 on ZEFA? Or ZEFA looking to at least take a match and keep himself in today's tournament? Beautiful 3rd skill there, able to strip everything off. We've got lots of things that can happen. Well, not too much that can actually happen with the 3rd skill coming from ZEFA yet.
Yeah, this is the speed tuning is a little bit of a problem in here because since the team on Spires' side was slower, the Shizuka didn't have anything to throw back because she played ahead of everyone. So now he has to wait it out, not use it, try to get some damage, and oh my God, that Masha was almost dropped off the share.
That's right. I mean, that was a lot of damage coming towards Masha. Desperately, oh my lord, desperately needs to get the dismount before Masha starts doing some crazy things like that, because Jamair does get dropped. Jamair does have cooldowns, though, when it gets revived with that Shizuka 2nd skill. Once Shizuka gets that 2nd skill back up, you can see he's going for a strip. Nice additional turns coming up. He's going to have that 2nd skill available next turn to potentially bring that unit back here.
You know what I like over here is that there's still a chance this Panda does a lot of crazy stuff, but it needs to drop the Masha ASAP. Oh, the Juno with a big stun. Gets the proc, but unfortunately is gonna be only with 1 turn of threat state. If the Masha proc right there, he would be dead. A lot of damage from this Kinky. Can he drop the Masha right now? Yes, sir. Here we go. The Juno being very clutch with those stuns. Can she land one more? No.
He's got to do a third skill here instead of bringing back that. Well, he could actually go for the cleanser and stop the defense break, but he is going to use a third skill. Defense break's going to be still sitting on top of this Dark Panda unless he's able to proc out of it. He does have second skill available that I don't think he's going to be using. Kills that Masha, which is very important.
I don't know. The Dark Panda is looking very, very strong, Stoic. Right now with the Masha removed from the field and the Kinky with its head down. If the Juno fails, oh my God, those are so many dots. This looks like TOA, my friend.
It does look like TOA. Look at all that damage that he just took right there. I'm not too sure ZEFA has in store to handle what everything just happened right now. Unless that second skill is available. He does have that second skill available to bring back Jameer. Jameer with third skill to then save everybody here.
Oh my God, what a clutch play. It's gonna be Dark Panda against the world. And the thing is, this Juno is very, very important. The strip from the Light Panda.
Oh my God. With the stun as well. That is so crazy. I think that's gonna be it for this Dark Panda. Panda's gonna get pumped up right here. It is stunned, defense broken. Kinky's got something to say here, but Kinky will get, oh my, yep. That's crazy.
The Kinky just goes for the removal of this beautiful Shizuka. He can just finish her or try to finish the Panda and bring it back right now with the Juno. The three monsters are fully healed up. And I gotta tell you something, Stoic. This draft by Spires with the Panda and the Juno has been super strong. A lot of opportunities to stun, a lot of sustain, and a big proc from the other Panda. The Juno's off the field.
Definitely is off the field there. That threat state definitely coming in handy right now, because the threat state, for those who don't know, does limit a little bit of damage coming in when threat state's applied to a unit here. We do have a second skill available. What does he have in store for us with this second skill? Is it worth bringing back a Jameer for a second skill, because it won't have the third up? Brings back the Water Ezio.
I like that choice. The stuns land finally this time. Does he go for the greed of the damage, or does he go for the safe play of the heal? You know what? You get both, the game says. Here it goes, the Shizuka. One reduction, a big proc. This can change the outcome of this match if the Light Panda...
Oh, this definitely can. ZEFA's responding with some violent procs. After all of the violent procs Spires was able to get here, we have ZEFA returning with the RNG coming in his direction this time. Defense breaks need to land here. Both players, if Spires wants to stay in, he's honestly gonna have to start proccing again. But guess what? The Shizuka's got that all or nothing draft here, killing everything. ZEFA taking round 3 away from Spires.
What an incredible game, Stoic. A lot of people will say, oh, you know what? It was the violent procs. But on the other side, Spires also got a lot of stuns from their despairs, a lot of activations, those dots, the strips. So on his side, he got RNG. Then ZEFA got RNG. So it was a beautiful match. And the Dark Panda came on top of the Light Panda this time.
Now, big grats on ZEFA. Didn't tilt, stayed in that match as well, because I'll tell you what, man, is a lot of people would have bottom left with all the additional turns that Spires was popping out there. Everything was going Spires' way, and ZEFA then returned and gave punishment back to Spires with his own violent procs, and he really needed those to stay in that match, and he got them. We wanted fireworks, guys, and we got them.
Great comment, Stoic. Beautiful matches. Me coming on top. Let's see Spires once again changing his draft. These guys are in it to give us a show. Lots of highlights. Now Sagar comes out, a very strong monster paired up with more. The Water Ryu, so he has Strip, he has Reset, he has Death Break, and now on Zepha's side, does he bring the Zabala? Does it bring, the Holy Trinity? Yes,
Holy
sir.
Trinity,
the
baby.
Miles and the Rakuni coming out.
Yeah, it had to hit. It had to be the draft here. ZEFA locks in the Holy Trinity. We've got the Triforce. Spires looking to respond. I am expecting to see this team lane come in and be very disruptive, because the Rakuni does need to work. It needs to be able to keep pumping up both these units. Rakuni's why the Triforce works here. So I do think Tian Lang hits the... Oh, Tian Lang's pre-banned. I'm sorry.
Yeah, it was
Kinky
pre-banned.
and
Don't
Leo.
worry.
Interesting.
Yeah, Kinky and Leo are interesting choices here. The Miles still very, very strong into this, and he'll probably want to bring some sustain late. Is the Riley coming out as a last pick? What is he going to bring? Because ZEFA now kind of has the turn one if he wants. He can bring another speed lead, he can bring another control unit, and he has enough damage in this field, and there's no immunity. So far, the Fire Cassandra, you asked for her, Stoic. You've been wanting to see her instead of the light Ezio.
I really hope this works out because ZEFA also has the Dark Cassandra as well, but we're seeing a Fire Cassandra hit the field right now. I think this is the play. My question is, if this Leo goes through, I almost want to bet that this is a 0-speed Fire Cassandra. Is that nuts to think of?
Oh my God, that would be dope. Well, since I don't have a Fire Cassandra, I have a 0-speed Trevor, so I hope so, because they hit very hard. The Asima comes back as a last pick, and to be completely honest, the draft, he was looking into banning this Leo, yada yada. You gotta ban this Asima. You can't let this monster through right now, because if he bans the reset, there's no way you stop this monster.
I agree. Let's see what happens here. Man, I would be dumbfounded to hear that this was a 0-speed Fire Cassandra here. But I do think you're right. You got to ban out that Asima. Doc Panda's going to get banned out here. That's too oppressive. We do have the Triforce locked in.
Yeah, the Mii Ying getting the respect it deserves. It is Panda Day, chat. Let's see some hearts because these guys have been putting up a show. Turn one will obviously go to the fastest unit in the game, 0 additional speed, Leo, and because of that, Spires goes with the defense lead, and on the other side, the attack lead. No one cares about speed right now.
Yep, let's see what happens, guys. This could be a game decider for Spires. ZEFA fighting for his life here in this last match, potentially last match.
Ooh, can he fully remove the Sagar right away if he gives the turn to the Fire Cassandra? That's what he does. Great choice. Skill 2 is ready. That passive slaps. 3, 2, 1. Boom! No!
Oh,
it is a tanky Sagar. Oh my God!
I'm almost disappointed.
Bring back the light, Ezio. Bring back the light, Ezio.
Oh, maybe the light Ezio is the way to go.
You know what? The Fire Cassandra gets done. The Raccoony will bring her back up a little bit because this Leo, I don't think it can finish it off. It does get a crit. Okay, there's a small chance if this Kinky gets a death break. No, it doesn't. Big proc from the Oliver. Oliver and Miles. Miles can finish this Sagar right now. No, my man, this Sagar is beefy. Congrats to Spires for those tanky, runes.
Yeah, most definitely. Now, Fire Cassandra still hasn't procced that passive just yet. It still has it up where it's going to go into an invincibility, and it's going to have a vampire buff on it, able to heal itself up here. I do think Oliver should be the unit of focus right now, but he does proc the passive of that Cassandra. Cassandra is going to be able to, it's going to receive some damage, obviously, when the invincibility is going to be dropping here. Focus should stay on top of the Oliver as well, because I do think this unit needs to be dealt with.
Do you think she's on Vio? Because if she procs, she has skill 2. He can go right now for the Leo, no proc, so it doesn't look like it's on Vio. That would have been amazing. A little bit of damage. The Kinky is very dangerous with the death break. You got to go for that stun.
Oh my God, he got the stun. Oh, but he got the stun back and kills. That was really big right there. He was able to get rid of the Cassandra. Now Oliver looking a little low right now, able to heal up. We do have the Triforce. Now the Triforce technically is still up.
Oh! The Triforce is gone, my friend. Spires with the dominant. Leo Kinky takes game 4 and wins.
Spires with the next slot. He's going to the America's Cup. What a dominant game, guys.
That was insane.
Incredible, and I want to say something. Spires, I want to say congratulations to you and MADREAMDY for making it, but I also want to say congratulations to Stoic, because if it wasn't for his psychological pressure on you, you wouldn't have done this.
Oh, man.
This is all a trauma response when Stoic lashed out last year. Spires is overcompensating. He's like, man, I got to get it this time. I got to get there. Well, whatever you did, Stoic, it worked, man, because Spires really took it seriously.
I mean, just holy cow, Spires. That was, there was I almost don't even know what to say right now. There was a lot of greatly timed violent procs from Spires in that match there. Just it's so crazy. You know, hey, we wanted fireworks and we got fireworks, guys, because it was just a bunch of stuff we were not expecting to see. Incredible play from both these players. We watched the Triforce get dropped in that final match between Spires and ZEFA. I thought the Triforce was going to stand tall and we were going into a game 5 between ZEFA and Spires, and that's not what happened. I'm still like blown away by this.
Me too, man. I thought the Triforce had a chance to win it. Seppi, I really liked what he brought, but I thought that Spires' tankiness was truly something to be admired too.
What is that Wind Bison? Like, I want chat to try to guess how much additional HP that monster has, because it was very difficult to kill. You know, it got an ignored defense hit, then it got another hit, a third hit, and it wouldn't die. And once again, have you guys seen a Kinky slap this hard? Kinkies generally are very tanky, you know, and they start hitting harder as the game goes. This Kinky hits hard on turn 1, my friend.
Dude, this game that's showing right now was so crazy to watch. Like from an audience perspective, like this was wild. Just the ups and downs of this particular match were wild. I think this might have been my favorite game we've had so far this weekend.
It really is. It's one of those matches where you just watch that crazy, almost one-sided match with Spires, and then just to see the script totally flipped at the end of that match where ZEFA finally giving it right back to Spires in that match. It's just so awesome to see moments like that. And there was the damage. I didn't get to see what the number was again, but, you know, I was asking for the Cassandra, and he gave it to me.
Yeah, I think 34K. Can the chat confirm? That was a lot of damage, and he still had like a quarter of the HP. Very, very impressive. Very well ruined monster.
Oh, super well ruined. And we still got the content. I gotta tell you, ZEFA is a champ in terms of what he brings to the table too. I love the collab monsters being used here. We saw the Ezio, we saw the Cassandra, and also the Stoic, the Mi Ying. The Mi Ying was such a great response to the Kinky that was a problem point for so long.
Yeah, I think the Mi Ying was a great response to the Kinky. Obviously, with all the revenging and the defense breaks that Kinky was bringing, the Dark Panda kind of acts as that same way as well there. But I also think the Dark Panda might be a little bit better, in my opinion, just because he has that passive that keeps him super, super tanky, with the attack power also meaning why he stays alive and able to produce so much damage at the same time. It was a great pick there for ZEFA.
Totally, and huge congratulations to Spires. And I have to say, so honestly, I am thrilled that we get to see more of ZEFA next weekend, because everyone in chat who's been watching thus far, I want to remind you, we've been going through the winners bracket these last 2 days, but we get to see that redemption arc bracket next weekend. Here's the journey that we've been on today, and it ultimately ended with 2 qualified people for the America's Cup, and that's MADREAMDY and Spires. Seppi, what do you think of these 2 players that got qualified?
Incredible showing, very dominant. We can't say anything about them. The only thing I will say is congratulations, and you 2 were the best drafters of the day. Both of them with a lot of variety in their drafts. They were not predictable, even though you see that Spires kept bringing the Kinky and MADREAMDY kept bringing some of the high meta units. They never used the same order. Kinky was first, you know, picked first with the Riley, then he dropped to 3rd pick, then dropped to 4th pick. So you keep your opponents on their toes, and they're not able to prepare very well for you. So they got to either pre-ban those units or post-ban them, right? So these guys were super consistent, but at the same time, a lot of variety. And that shows it's the class of a top 8 player in our continent. Congratulations, totally deserved.
Yeah, and everyone in chat, we're all winners too. We've got another code for you on screen right now. Day 2, lock and load. Get your engraved scroll, your energy, and the SWC emblem. I want to remind everybody what those are. The emblems are a new currency that is specific to this year's SWCs. We've never seen it before this day. All you got to do is exactly this. Hang out and chat, redeem the coupon codes, and accumulate the emblems, and you can exchange them in the aptly named shop for rewards. So after this, you can check to see what your total is, see if you want to spend them on anything right now, or if you want to save them for a little while, maybe save them for America's Cup, and we can all open our Legend Scrolls in person or something like that. Yeah, awesome games today, Seppi. I think you put it so well. These players are really giving us a master class on drafting.
Yeah, loved their showing, loved other players that didn't get through as well and showed us a lot of cool content. I hope we get to see more of CROCODILE because he's been an amazing player. The Momo, you know, we want to see content. RHYS, all of those picks.
Yeah, we absolutely do. And if you want to see more content in person, make sure to get your tickets for the LA America's Cup Championship. That one's coming September 16th. Scan the QR code on your screen right now to make sure that you get your tickets. There's going to be a lot of fun stuff there, a lot of ways for the audience to participate in the event. It'll be a great time, and I can't wait to hang out with you guys in person. Stoic, Seppi, this has been so much fun doing this today. Stoic, I can't wait to see you. You're flying out.
I can't wait to see you guys as well. It's always such a great trip to go out there. But more importantly, guys, it's for the America's Cup final. Look forward to it. Another live event, guys. It's been a while, and this one is going to be incredible.
Really is.
An event for the ages, Stoic. I'm really looking forward to hanging out with both of you and hearing your voice right here, you know, truly in my ear. It's going to be amazing. I'll hope to see all of you in there. Please reserve your tickets. It's only a month away.
Yeah, only 1 month. It's something to look forward to. Chat, thank you so much for hanging out with us today. It has been an absolute pleasure. We look forward to seeing you here again next weekend for the Redemption Arc bracket on the third day of the prelims. See you all next time. Bye-bye.